Have everything open.
Okay.
Hey, we're live. Hello. Look at this. This is different. I guess I gotta do the spiel now. I'm not used to this. I'm just used to making a stupid face in the background. Uh,
Mm.
hello, everybody. It's Comic Crack, and here with me today is La Raza. After I don't know, a month off, kind of thing. A month
Yeah.
of a reprieve. I don't know, something like that. We're
Who can't
back
say?
to chat comics and just kind of what we've been reading, what's been going on, and just catch up.
Mhm.
Um, and the comments are open, so please join us if you're out there.
Mm.
So, how are you doing? What have you been reading? What's going on? Should we just get right into it?
Wow, it's just like, okay, hello, hi. If you remember me, we used to
Yeah,
be in Dr. Monkey Buzz channel, if you ever watched it.
that's
Anyway,
right.
those two.
Yeah, we're
So
the other two that weren't
yeah,
Dr. Monkey Bob, basically. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we were his limbs, yeah. He was the brain and we were
that's
limbs.
right.
And what I've been doing.
Yeah, what have you been
I
reading? What's happening?
Well, I've been sampling a lot, but like just to see what's happening around in the comic book world, kind of thing.
Mhm.
Um, I sampled some Batman, which has been
Okay.
written by Tinian the Fourth. Like a couple of first, like I think it started from like 80 something issue, like from King's, because I was reading King's before Batman while I was still pulling Batman. But I dropped it because many knows I don't like that. I didn't like what he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
writing. I didn't like the way Batman felt. Anything in general, it just felt like kind of awkward, too complicated and non like rewarding read kind of thing. I didn't
Yeah.
never felt that. Oh, hey Neil.
Hello,
Um,
Neil.
so and then I thought, okay, everybody's like saying maybe Tinian is not so bad. So I read a couple of digital issues, and I didn't dislike it. Oh, hello, comic board.
Comic board. Hello. You made it.
So and then yeah, so I was just like felt the Batman is still kind of weird. It still feels a little bit weak for me, but I guess he had
Okay.
to work with whatever he got left from King and then develop to the story what he wanted to do. As I say, I haven't read into much, but so far what I read, it quite intrigued. It was the Riddler parts I really enjoyed. There's the he's kind of like this bad guy, but there's somebody behind, and I think I know who it is behind because people are talking about it. But I
Mhm.
don't want to associate because I want to kind of have a fresh mind of reading Batman and see what my own opinion is about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I always like to go back. I mean, it's enjoyable to read Batman because as a character itself I like, but because he's a detective, and as we both know, I love detective. You like detective, and
Yeah,
that's what appeals about him. I always
yeah.
had appealed to me about him, but I realized in later times that they don't use that skill anymore. Of his, the most famous detective is not doing detective,
Mhm.
especially in the Tom Kingsville. It's, I mean, I know you want to take the character to another level or depth, kind of establish him to human psyche and stuff like that, but you cannot completely switch off what he was before.
Yeah,
If you have
exactly.
a high intelligence, you still have to be able to keep it, even though you're struggling through whatever you're struggling through, let's say.
Mhm.
Or the love life or Catwoman and stuff like that. Catwoman was always appealing to me from the animated series kind of thing. I
Yes.
always
Yeah,
liked
yeah.
her intrigue and that sassiness, and that really was something what kept me interested in the character itself. That bad girl kind of like in the way that she can do whatever she wants to, but in sense they still had that, that level of understanding between good and bad in a way. Oh, mind the comics as well.
Hello, G.
So yeah, that was interesting that she's still partaking in this Tinians as well. And she has a secret where I left off reading it, and it was intriguing enough. Like you
Yeah.
have something she has to hide all the time. Like you always, not going to be like open book, even though you have a relationship. I mean, we all don't do that kind of thing.
Mhm.
We try to be open, and it's the best way to be open, and even you are in a relationship. But in that sense, I was intrigued to see where it went. So I wasn't disliking it. So I was, if I ever gonna get into like reading more, I probably would.
Yeah.
But it's not like DC these days. There's nothing bad about them. I think they're trying to do something completely different. And when they got bought over by AT&T, which is absolutely bizarre in generally that you would buy something like that, especially of telecommunications company buying comic books industry. It's like, what are you up to, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe we were trying to think like they are next Disney in that part of sense, but Disney is completely a different entity. It's a whale in comparison to anybody else at the moment. So
yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I do enjoy DC characters a lot. I honestly enjoyed reading whatever I would do. Green Lantern, or one of my favorite characters, Hal Jordan, or whoever they are. Like, always enjoyed it. Jon Stewart is very nice as a character, as a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
So that's why I always go back. But like I've heard just recently, they saying that they're gonna do this crossover and stuff. The minute they say crossover in comic books, especially when at the moment for me, it's like I shut off completely. I was like, no, I'm not. Don't do. I don't do it. I have so much else to read of the history prior to that, because I'm not reading that comic books for that long. So I can go back and read something more intriguing, whatever it was before. Because it feels, if you do that, it feels like they kind of rehashing the same kind of stories, and it's become like, why would I read something new and spend so much money? You know what I mean? That money, another monetary value has to come into effect as well, where you have to kind of think what you want to do and stuff like that. So I rather invest in the independent stuff if I do read comic books. So
were you reading the DC digitally, or did you go and pick some up?
Okay.
Jared
Hi,
Osborne.
Jared. Yeah. I tend to now, if I do sample something new, I tend to go in digital form.
Okay.
So I go Comixology, which I don't like at all as an app, but sometimes it's okay. I always look for deals. Like if like I don't like to pay full price for digital, especially, but for convenience matter, I have 2-year-old who is havoc. No matter where he goes in which room, so I have to be very mindful to what I do. A lot of times, I have this comic book is really it was in really horrible condition. So I was like, okay, let's teach him. Like I was like, oh, I'm so clever. I'm going to teach him how not to touch comic books.
Yeah.
And that didn't work. That
no,
not very good quality comic book became in the pieces. I'm like, oh my god. But I wasn't. I was like, a little bit in my heart was like, oh shit, comic book just got destroyed, kind of thing,
Yeah.
But it was something like, I think it's like those 1 free comic book day ones in like advertisement ones, like sometimes they just like all ads in there, so it's kind of, or something like that, or story something. So it wasn't something I was really caring about. So in that sense, those so
that's the best about those free comic books days. I've done that both with both my kids when they were young. Well, Lillian when she was a little bit younger, and then Jaden when he was young. Like, that was the greatest time. Just grab a few of those and give them to them, because it's do whatever you want. It was free. If it gets destroyed, it's not the end of the world,
I mean, it's still there. There's some free comic books are pricey.
I know, which is crazy. Yeah.
Well, like the stories like Six Gun. Have you ever read Six Gun?
No, I haven't. I know it very well, but I haven't read it. No.
Yeah. So it came out first in Free Comic Book Day.
Oh, I see.
That's how he introduced the story, the Colored Man. So in that sense, if you have that, it's more. If it would be in value, it would be more valued when the first issue came out. So that kind of sense. So
well, that is true, because I've got that Batman Beyond, that first one, which is I'm seeing on the wall. It was free as well, and apparently that one goes for crazy money now, like $200-300, which I just don't understand. I guess it's the first Terry McGinnis or whatever, some sort of nonsense, right? Like, it's so hard to keep up with that stuff about what's what and why is it hot, and this one's hot and now all of a sudden it's not, and blah. It's just shit is tiring. I've just got it up because it's like, well, maybe I look at selling it, because I mean, I love the character, I love the comic, but at the same time, it's hard to say no to the money if somebody's willing to pay it, right? That's the thing. It's always the thing.
Yeah.
It's hard to hold on to it.
Yeah, so that's what my comic books like, goes in digital
Yeah,
form more now, and in that sense I
yeah,
can kind of try to still, like, support it, but it's every single time I do it, something just drops in my heart, like, fuck, why I'm doing this? I don't like this. I want physical stuff. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't want this, but like, you have to adjust. Hopefully
yeah,
not for a long time. And
yeah,
he's
yeah,
gonna be behaving, but it's never, like, he's really naughty. So my son has that thing from me, which is I'm learning from, and my mom is like, she's having the best time of her life. The minute I
yeah,
start talking about his things, what is that he's doing, she just cracks up and is like, "Oh, the best thing I've ever heard." It's like, "Why are you
yeah,
laughing?" It's like, "Oh, it's exactly what you did." It's
yeah,
like, what?
yeah.
So yeah, she's having time with
That's
her life. Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. So
So did
that's
you did you find it hard to get back into them? Like, because you said you'd been out of them for a little bit. When you started reading them again, did it
uh
feel like, oh my God, I've got to catch up, or was it pretty good to just kind of flowed right into it?
Well, the thing is, I started that Tinian stuff I think from
Okay.
the beginning when he started
Oh,
it.
you did.
So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so in sense, was able to kind of, it did felt like there was something behind because of Tom King stuff, I think,
Yeah.
because he still had to grab some stuff to understand, for people to understand where he's come from. So in that sense, that maybe I missed, but honestly, I just felt like I'm gonna read and see how I felt, and then as I say, the artist was great, which I don't remember the name, which I'm kind of like sometimes, like, you should mention, for me generally, artist is kind of like an important part
Yeah.
in comic books anyway. So anyway, so yeah, so aside from that, and then I'm reading Invincible now.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I have, of course, again in digital form,
Hmm.
unfortunately, but collecting all those 11 or 12 hardbacks would be great to have, but they're
Yeah.
quite pricey. Some of them are out of stock. Like, it's very really well presented. I think Jared Osman would know about that, as I think he has it in that form as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, so 18 issues in, and absolutely love it.
Sweet. Wow.
It's a superhero comic book with everything you need.
Yeah.
It's really easy flowing. It's fast paced. It has intrigue. The characters, like, it's a bit of at the moment, because I'm just freshly in. I know it's gonna get really dark and bloody and
Okay.
gory, but at the moment it's quite mellow still. So hasn't. It's been a bit of a blood, to the point where this confrontations happened for the Invincible and his dad, which was
Yeah.
really cool. But in generally at the moment, I think it's still quite tame. And
Okay.
and from that point, like, I think in a couple of issues it's gonna go really out of like whack, and
Yeah.
they say
Yeah.
it's gonna be like blood everywhere all the time. I was like, really? Some people say there's some of the panels were like, wow, because there's a artist change as well.
Okay.
It's like Kirkman's thing happens when he's writing a book. Well, in before, like Walking Dead happened with like artists who started it, and
Yeah.
then blah blah blah. Now it seems to
Yeah.
be
Terry
Invincible.
Moore to whoever it was then. Yeah.
Yeah. So and he changed because Ryan Otley will take over.
Okay.
On, but then when he's gonna take over, it's gonna go all the way, and it's like 100 and
Hmm.
something, 30 something issues, which is crazy even to think about. But the way
Yeah.
it reads, which I'm one thing surprised about, it's really fast paced. It's not going around and around and around so far, which is really
Hmm.
good, because I kind of expected from Kirkman, because I have sampled some of things he's written, and it wasn't something like as intriguing. But this is really good so far. It's,
Cool.
as I say, fast paced, good characters, some funny parts, but not that much. Like, I think maybe he's trying to be funny for me in the first couple of
Yeah.
issues, but it didn't feel like it was funny, kind of thing. But
Yeah.
his dad's situation was surprising, because I remember, because I told you, I don't know if you remember, but I told you I read the whole first volume from library.
Okay.
and,
Yeah.
and that's why I wanted to continue, but I never did. And then this time when I spoke to you guys last in Dr. Momgibo's channel, I
Yeah.
was saying I would like to do it, and I was like, like, we had this break of not talking. I was like, oh, I need something to read, and I just clicked, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna jump into this and see what I
Yeah.
feel about. So yeah, that's why I'm reading, and I didn't remember. I don't think
Awesome.
in the first volume that happened with him and his dad. because I knew there's something going on with his dad. I remember that clearly at the back of my head, but I didn't remember what. But I guess I haven't read it, because that was when I read it. I was like, oh, okay, it's intriguing now,
Yeah.
because the way they introduced him, who he was, and there's the way he did the story, like like you have this son, I have something to tell you kind of thing, that kind of story. Like, you sit down and
Okay.
I'm going to tell you my background, and he has this background at the beginning of the like 2 first issues, and then jump into like 16, 17 issue. He's like, son, I have to tell you something. It is like completely different.
Oh
So
wow.
in a way, in the better sense kind of thing. I was a good
Yeah. Yeah.
guy. Now I'm kind of like, but
Okay.
have you read it?
No, I
I'm
never have. No, I've just heard nothing but good things about it. Like anytime I hear someone talking about it, it's how
Mhm.
incredible it is and how much they enjoyed it. It's just not one that I've dug into.
There is this characters he sometimes introduces, and I really like it because it gives you the sense of kind of difference. Like, you can go really the same thing. Like, you get used to like open up. You have Invincible doing this and this and that, and it kind of becomes monotonic. But then he
Okay.
introduces some other character to comes in, and you're like, oh, okay, let's just jump into that kind of stuff. What it was hilarious thing, which I was cracking up, he used every single character of DC, like Wonder Woman,
Oh.
Superman, all that, but he renamed them, and
Mhm.
I could not stop laughing. It's like, wow, he's
Yeah.
taking
Yeah.
the on those. And he's like, just like, this is the guy. The War Woman was Wonder Woman. That's clearly I
Okay.
remember, because she was like, and the way what happened to them, that was like superb. It's like, oh
Yeah.
shit,
Wow.
I think that would
Yeah.
happen in DC, which will never happen.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's basically take of what he could do to them, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
really cool. So that I liked. So all
That
the
sounds
like
pretty great.
the best funny part was about Green Lantern. So it was a green ghost. So this
Okay.
guy, so the guy has to swallow this fucking, I don't know what was it, like it looks like a ball sack, kind of thing. Had to swallow it and become green ghost. And every single time he had to go turn back to normal, he had to puke it out. Like, I said, I can't get used to this shit.
It's
So
hilarious.
you have those rings and stuff.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
ring to become Green Lantern kind of thing. So he had to puke it or swallow or puke it out. So I could not stop laughing. That was the hilarious part. It's so
Yeah.
funny. I was like, no fucking way he did that
That's
shit.
hilarious.
So yeah. So it's not like and it's definitely not going to be for children. I can sense
Yeah.
from there, even though it's very tame, the way what
Yeah.
he's kind of portraying is going to happen, or heard people saying about the series,
Yeah.
it's definitely not going to be for kids.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
another thing why I started doing that, unfortunately for you, but Amazon is producing the animated series, which are going to
Okay.
be
That's
coming
right.
out. We're going to come out next year.
Yeah.
In that sense, I was like, okay. So I was thinking now you guys coming out with that, because they were mentioning about that quite a long time, that they're going to do something about it, or animate it or
Yeah.
something. But then they showed the trailer, I think, in one of the panels, like online panels they had.
Mhm.
And I watched the trailer, and apparently it looks really good. I mean, it looks like
Yeah. Yeah.
characters and stuff like that. So, and the cast he got, the people's voices, most of them are from Walking Dead.
Oh
I
wow.
guess he pulled some strings himself, I guess. Or
See,
they
and
wanted
that's the
to.
thing, right? Like that's a no-brainer in that case. It's like that sounds amazing. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I'm agreeing with you saying that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's you use your things, or you got to establish yourself in Walking Dead. And TV show,
Yep.
it blew up to the point of everybody was just worshiping that show, which I
Yeah.
cannot
It was
finish.
mildly successful. I remember hearing something about that Walking Dead show.
Which I can't finish.
Yeah,
I
I
just
still haven't finished it either.
I announced to my husband I'm not watching it anymore. Because he says to me, we start watching. I was like, no, I'm not
Yeah.
watching it. I just had enough of that.
Okay.
It got into like that constant zombie stuff kind of ingrained in me, and it's like I also felt so like not like people get satisfied by watching that kind of stuff. I was more dissatisfied. I mean, I liked
Yeah.
acting. I liked lots of the characters of the TV show who they were portraying, but I couldn't take it anymore. The zombie, the slashing, it's gets chopped and
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck, it's like a bad toilet trip, man.
Yeah, yeah,
In the sense of that.
yeah.
So yeah, so Hickman is doing
It's
that.
so hard for me to keep up with something that's going to go that many seasons. Like I've said it
Yeah.
before, it's just I'm such a Brit at heart when it comes to like I love the way that stuff gets dealt with over in England, like the shows where you might get a series that's like 6 episodes, but it's a complete 6 episodes. It's really satisfying. Once stuff goes into like season 6 and season 7, it's like fuck me, I can't be bothered. Like that's a big commitment to like I really really have to like it. There's very few exceptions. Obviously Viking is one of those exceptions.
Mm.
That's only in I've watched 4 seasons and that was phenomenal, but even
Yeah.
that, like early on they had a little more minimal amount of episodes. It started growing as it went, but I mean
Yeah.
it's really difficult. That's a hell of a commitment to sit
Mhm.
and just watch that much goddamn TV. Then it's got to be completely engaging, like The
Yeah.
Wire or something where I couldn't stop watching that. It's just so
Yeah.
phenomenal, but the story is so good. And
Yeah.
it's not just kind of like, hey, here's the zombies again, you know what I mean? And it's just the same note over and over again.
Mm.
I would like to see it though, but again, it's one of those things that I applaud him for wanting to do that kind of stuff. Because I mean, right from the get-go, I think he's talked about that he wants to do something that's a real long-term, really fully explore a world and a universe. And, you get to do a lot more when you have these characters that people have seen for like whatever, 100+ hours worth of TV of the same character. You can start playing with things a little differently. But dude, that's a commitment and a half.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, I'm also a lot of I always, if I see a new animated series and if it's anything based on comic book, I always get my attention.
Yeah,
I grew up with that kind of stuff. I always enjoyed them. Like Warner Bros. Anytime they release a animated movie, I tend to watch it or try to, at least if I'm capable of doing that, especially in the platforms I'm subscribed to. Let's say this way. But yeah, so I was very intrigued to see what they're gonna do, especially like it will be interesting now because I'm reading it now before the stuff, and hopefully I will finish this before the show will start. Because I kind of would intrigued to see the character voices because I'm familiar with all the actors. Oh, the cracker! Wow, that's a
Hello,
good one.
Damien.
Hey, Damien. So yeah, so it would be interesting to see how it's gonna feel. I don't have very good sense when every single time I have something read and I see that on telly, not everything translates for me really well. Like Preacher, for example. Preacher is just no. It just doesn't work like that. Whatever they were trying to do, for me, in sense, because I just enjoy that Preacher series that much.
Yeah.
So in that sense, one of the things I didn't like.
It's hard to compete against an individual's imagination, right? Like, I mean, maybe it's not as much imagination like when you're reading a comic, you're visualizing it, but you still have this attachment. It's really hard to then, hey, guess what we're gonna do? We got this cool TV show. It's like, nah, the fuck out of here with my story. What are you doing?
Well, look, I'm not saying it's my story on anything on sense,
no, I know.
Sometimes, if you're going, because you see, when I see something well done, and it's done to point where in my mind, I think it's perfect. So, and I see somebody else trying to attempt to do something different than that. It's like, I don't see the point of me interacting with that. You know what I mean? It's my own personal choice. For example, my husband absolutely likes Preacher. So I have that content where saying like, I don't want to watch really because I've read it and you haven't read the content and he's not into reading much. So it's in that sense, he's like, okay, like he's can watch it and I was like, you can do whatever you want to watch. But I just can't. I know what I see. And it's like pages. Like that's the thing. I see pages what I've read and it's like, oh fuck, why did you do that shit? Kind of thing. That was like there are some moments where it's superbly done, like timing and everything and the exploration and reveal and all that stuff. And then you see that and it's completely opposite. Like, what? It's a beautiful thing to see on telly. It would be beautiful. I probably would applaud it if it would exactly done it, in my opinion. That's just my, like you say, we have our own self of understanding what we like and what we don't. And if it doesn't appeal to you, you don't have to like scream about it or rave about it. Do it, but
it was so tough when we were watching a Swamp Thing. Like, trying my best not to just inundate my wife with like, well, in the comics, this is what they did. In the comics, this would, you know what I mean? Like really
Mhm.
trying to like let the show play as the show and do that
No.
minimally. But I mean, it was definitely a challenge. Hello, Gorvidal.
That's funny, girl. Yeah, we're not gonna mention SAGA
I don't
for
even know
you.
what that is.
Yeah, what is
His
it?
lawyers scare me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no,
Well,
I don't know.
anyway, so yeah, so in that sense, so I'm looking forward to see that TV show of Kirkman's. But
Yeah.
as I say, Kirkman is like a cotton worm for me. But I really was surprised of seeing that Invincible, the way it develops and what
Mhm.
his writing is all about, feels really different. As I say, sampled Walking Dead before. I didn't finish the series, nor I did finish the TV show and stuff like that, because of like didn't believe. I just that like they like Dr. Monkeybot used to say, what's gonna happen, like this mellow boom, there's like really people die and all that kind of stuff, and then
Yep.
this mellow and you don't want to even actually open it because you kind of is boring. So I was
Yeah.
thinking, I had that preconception saying, okay, I'm probably gonna do that in Invincible, but it doesn't, and I'm thankful for that, because
Yeah,
it's
that's
perfect.
good.
That's really good for me, because then I can continue invest my time in
Was
reading that.
was Invincible after Walking Dead or before it?
No, oh, that's a good question. I think
Or
it
was it
started
along?
after. No, it
Okay.
definitely started after.
Okay.
But in the middle of The Walking Dead, I think, kind
Oh,
of
I
thing,
see.
he
Okay.
started out, because don't forget, Walking Dead finished it, and I think Invincible was still going.
Okay.
But just like after it stopped. So like, as I say, like 100 something issues. I'm blanking on details, but
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
for sure, I think it is. But yeah, in that sense. So I was reading that. Also, I was watching El Grey video,
Uh-huh.
and he mentioned blueberry, and that just took my
Yes.
every single like, oh fuck, I want to do that. So I went back to my collection just to sample the pages,
Yep.
and he gave me that information snippet I didn't know about, Mobius itself, about his mentor.
Yeah.
Gigi or Gigi, I don't know
Yeah.
what is
Yeah,
it.
that's right. Yep.
Yeah, so
I think it's Gigi, yeah.
yeah, Gigi. Yeah. So and then he showed those panels where he actually drew it. It's like,
Yeah.
I actually thought that was Mobius, because I didn't really realize. And
Yep.
he showed, because now I realize why Mobius was signing. If you are opening those pages of Epic Books, it was
Yeah.
there's somewhere there's his name and saying when. So I was like, why you always sign that like a panel? Like, why
Yeah,
would you
yeah.
do that? Now makes sense, because then if you had help from your mentor, then makes sense that you G G okay. Mind the comics, I'm not gonna pronounce that. G G. Okay, I screwed up again. Anyway.
Well, it's something that I've noticed in a lot of the European stuff, though, and I always attribute it to maybe the way
Mhm.
it was originally coming out, because I notice in a lot of stuff where halfway through one
Uh,
page there will be a last panel that's signed, so I assumed it was that. But yeah, you're absolutely right, because I remember seeing that now. Now that
yeah.
you're saying it.
So that was like good information, and I was like, every single time anybody, and I'm so jealous, because what he shows is the collected issues where you don't get it
Yeah,
in English. And that
yeah,
just drives me absolutely bonkers, because there's so
yeah,
much more story to Blueberry. There is what we have in English versions.
totally.
It's so much we miss out, because the younger times I think I have found one of them, because I still
Yeah, the
try
young
to
blueberry stuff.
yeah, the early Blueberry things. I think I found them.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's honestly, it's such a treat to even look at it, because then like Earl Grey has mentioned about development of this, who he was supposed to be, the actor, and he mentioned his names, and I grew up with
yeah.
that, because in my country we had a lot of French translated movies coming into the telly
Mhm.
after all the stuff happened with Russia and all that stuff. And I remember the actor, they supposedly have the blueberry drawn upon, because they wanted to put the movie forward. And that made sense, because the actor was blown up to the
Totally.
proportion of, like Hollywood star.
Yep.
And it does look like him. That the nose
Yeah.
is the one thing you kind of exactly know who you're talking about.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that just made me, I wanted to watch some movie, but I couldn't find anything translated. I was like, oh shit.
Mhm.
Like this day and age problem. Like you would think you can find lots of stuff, but when you want something translated, especially older stuff, you
Yeah.
have to like you find those Criterion discs. You keep on
Yeah.
finding.
Criterion. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so that's kind of thing. So it's definitely was something amazing to look at, especially from Earl Grey's point of view, because of
Yeah.
the vastness of story he actually was reading, and he can read, and
Yeah.
we poor suckers who just read in English.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, right? Like when I watch his channel, that's the thing that stands out to me because you look,
Mhm.
he always has this camera angle where you can see his shelves and you can see
Yeah,
all these books
yeah,
that are just translated in just few languages, and one of them is not English, and
yeah.
it's just like it also made me realize watching that video that I'm still missing. I think I'm missing a couple of Lieutenant Blueberry, and I might be
Mhm.
missing a Young Blueberry as well too. Like I still don't have all of the Marvel stuff that came out.
Yeah, I
But I
don't
mean,
have it.
really
I
like
only
sparked in my mind of like, shit, man, I got to get on that hunt again. I gotta find the rest of whatever it is in English, because
I
I
was
like
looking
reading
at
it.
those Blueberry Lieutenant, the or younger things, and it's
Yep.
non-existent. If there is, there's
Yeah,
one
it's
in America.
super tough.
In America, usually, most likely there is, but then
Yep.
like the prices and shipment in this day and age is like another thing you have to think in the back of your head. There used to be
Totally.
a- there's an edition of hardcovers, limited edition was produced where actual Mobius has signed it and was an English version. But
Okay.
that's even worse to find. I was like thinking, oh, maybe I'm gonna look, but that's non-existent. If anybody who bought it, especially now that Mobius is not here with us, having anything signed with him with his stuff, it's probably impossible just to even think about how much they would want to, even they want to depart with
Yeah.
their books. But yeah, we are
Yeah.
really when it comes to that kind of like even in England, which is so close to Europe, you would think. We no wonder why they're trying to
Yeah.
break away from this bullshit. But we're not talking
Yeah.
politics. But why we don't bloody get translated anything from Europe? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
it's honestly, I was like thinking maybe I was the wrong country I moved into, kind of thing. Like maybe
Yeah.
I moved to France and I would be able to read and all that bullshit. But
Yeah.
I chose England. Hey, 20 years, almost 20 years later, I'm still here.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So,
Damien is talking about he's been working on reading French and he started on a
oh,
few Tintin pages. So do you know a lot of French, Damien, or just enough to kind of get by? And I mean, that's the thing, like, especially growing up in Canada, like our second language is French
mhm,
here in Canada. And I never excelled at it in school, even though we had French class and stuff. My
mhm,
kids are really great. Well, my son is really great at French because he's been doing it now for a while. My
mhm.
daughter is getting better at it in her school, being in a French immersion school and stuff. So maybe the tables will turn. I'll get my son to read me comics in French,
Yeah, your
lie in
bedtime
bed,
story.
and then he can read. Yeah, exactly. Get him to
Daddy,
translate and read
let's
something for me.
let's read a story for you
Pull the
before you
covers
go
up.
to That would be hilarious. Maybe I should do the same to my son. Well, I have to wait for a while, but maybe I
Yeah,
should just. I mean, he's already struggling with two languages, whatever I speak and my husband does.
yeah,
That
yeah,
means I don't think I should wait for until he gets established to that point and then
yeah.
introduce
That's
another
right.
language. Learn
Yeah,
French. Why?
yeah,
I want to know about Blueberry. Who is
yeah,
Blueberry? You don't. Doesn't matter. It
yeah.
just needs. You need to know that.
That's
Just
hilarious.
learn by heart, and then you're gonna reenact every single page.
Yeah, yeah.
And I will be like, "What's that, son? What is that?"
Hey,
Kind of
so
thing.
speaking of westerns,
Oh shit!
did you
No.
did you read this one?
No.
Oh, you haven't.
You know
Okay.
why I didn't read? So I
Why?
watched, to my mistake, I watched Sleepy Reader's video of him showing
Okay.
Pulp. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's not the Western. I was like, what? So I didn't receive it. I kind of asked to pre-order from my comic book guy the same things because I see a Western anything and it's straight away I kind of want to try, especially from
Yeah, yeah,
Brubaker. Come on, I mean I like Brubaker as a writer. Plus,
yeah,
Sean Phillips'
yeah,
art is amazing in that, and I was like, okay, definitely I'm gonna order. Then I watched the Damien's video and it's like, oh, it's not a Western. I was like, what the fuck? So I called him, called my comic book guy. Forget about that shit. I don't want it. It's like,
Oh no. Oh, that's too bad.
but
Okay,
no,
well,
I mean, I could, I honestly, I was thinking to order again, but I
Yeah.
kind of, I forget it. I forgot about it. But then I saw you talk, like saying that, showing that you bought this. I was like, that would be interesting to actually see. Well, I'm looking. Are you going to tell me you read it?
I have read it, and out of
And
the I've got 3 of the hardcovers now.
uh-huh.
Honestly, out of the 3 that I've read, this is easily my favorite of the 3. So I
Oh
won't
shit!
tell you much more than that. We won't talk about it till you've read it. But
But
honestly,
is it not Western? Isn't it?
no, it's not a Western. I mean, there's Western elements in it for sure. There is. I kind of just don't want to tell you anything about it other than just read it because it's phenomenal. I think it's for me personally out of those 3 books,
Power.
I found it the darkest of the 3.
Oh, is it?
I was kind of surprised. There's just a tone to it in the way one of the characters speaks. There's
Mm-hmm.
just a really kind of different dark element to the writing. I loved it. I thought
Okay,
it was
show me the art.
fantastic.
Can I
Yeah,
sample some art?
absolutely. Yeah, of course you can. You can always
Okay,
sample some
Paolo.
art. He does some great stuff when he. Well, this is a perfect page to go back to. I don't know how Adam does this stuff.
Okay, well,
Where's the
try.
3 dots? Sorry, let me see. Solo layout. Hey, boom.
Oh, there you go.
There it goes. When he looks back, when he's kind of
Oh,
thinking about his past, he does this kind of wash almost to the pages where there's a texture behind that everything is printed over top of that I think
mm-hmm,
works really, really well.
mm-hmm.
And then when he goes to the present, it's
Is the
it's his
colorist his
usual
son?
incredible. Sorry, say that again.
Is this his colorist his son, or is he doing it himself?
Yes, color by Jacob Phillips. Yeah,
Do you know that Jacob Phillips is actually drawing his own comic book?
yeah, I'd seen that, and he's also doing some. He's also doing covers and things too, isn't he?
I think so. But do you notice that he's very similar to his dad?
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
We get,
Exit solo. Yeah, there we go.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah, no,
look.
honestly, it's fantastic. Like, I mean, I love all their stuff, varying degrees. I'm
Yeah.
always going to go back to them, and I'm always going to give them a shot, no matter what. But I thought that was exceptional. He's got this knack for kind of noirish and kind of crime, and
Mhm.
like this one is
Yeah.
definitely it's dark, man. It's pretty great.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well, he does all digital, but the man has really good eye for drawing. I mean, all
yep,
the traditional medium.
yep,
Definitely, but yeah, I know why he's going digital because you have to keep up with the deadlines and all that bullshit. So, and he established that. I think he changed his art a little bit. If you notice that I'm not sure if you have the early of his stuff. I don't. I have seen only online a couple of things. So what Sean Phillips has drawn, and I think he didn't do it straight away with Cintiq, as far as I remember,
no,
or so yeah, and seeing what he's doing now, it's very
mhm,
kind of like now you can distinguish him that's him, because if you sample anything whatever Sean Phillips done with Brubaker or whatever he done, is especially because that's his fame anyway come from. So yeah,
yep,
it's definitely, what is Sean. But when I saw, I haven't read anything whatever his son has done, but I sampled a
no,
couple
me
of
neither.
pages just to see, and it's like almost kind of like he has his own touch, but you can
Yeah,
see how much he was influenced by his own dad. Because at the end of the day, you color his art, so you notice every single detail, whatever he's done. So surely in
absolutely.
the back of your brain, you can't get away of not doing the kind of similar thing because of, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and
yeah,
just growing up in that house, right? Like that influence is going to show itself.
yeah.
Um, the other Western, and this one really is a Western, is this is Western.
Uh-huh.
Um, and again, like I know that I won't talk about it too much. I'm getting these 2 out of the way because I know that you haven't read either of these. But
Yeah,
honestly, holy shit, it
yeah.
was it was great. A really, really good read. And
Hmm.
plus it was a one-off too. I'll show you the
Yeah,
art because it was a one-off. Um, that makes
yeah.
it kind of, you don't have to worry about jumping in and reading a whole series. You don't need any backstory. You can just read this one volume.
Uh-huh.
And the thing that happens during this is in between the kind of chapters, they do these incredible. Let me just find one
Mhm.
here. 2-page
Oh,
spreads. So to
mhm.
kind of like, mark the different chapters, and they're so beautiful. Those,
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. Mind the comics, double
Mhm.
spreads. Yeah, honestly, this one is right up there for me as well too. It's just such a good book. Again, a pretty dark story,
Mhm.
but it is so good. It is such a good read, and I mean anything Cinebook, I'm addicted to anyway.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
yeah, no, highest of recommendations for this one.
Yeah,
Really, really good.
I was already looking through to see if I'm gonna get it, but we were out of stock where I looked.
Okay,
Uh,
they were out of stock. Okay,
yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I didn't look in book depository. I know it's the one place I can go, but I
yeah,
just wanted just to check somewhere else and to see, whoever quickest can arrive to me, and then whatever I looked. But then I'm probably gonna get it because it's not very expensive anyway, and I definitely
no,
like
I
one
think
of
it
the
was
short
cheap.
stories, and
Yeah,
I can see from the art already that it's definitely gonna appeal to me,
yeah,
because as I said to you, I'm reading that the Western I showed you the digital editions, another
yep,
French artist doing it, and honestly, it's just like sampling digitally is mind blowing. I just would like
yeah.
to see it on the paper, but I bet it's not translated in English. So
That was the one from that Europe Comics or something, wasn't it?
yeah,
Was that what the company? Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Give me a second. Oh, what is his name? What is that? Undertaker. I think. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
I think so. Yeah,
just make sure. Yeah,
yeah. Honestly,
Undertaker. Yeah.
Book Depository is great. Like the thing with them is because it's free shipping across. I mean, they always have sales on stuff. It seems like even if it's like 10% off or
Yeah.
15% off. So I mean, that Western I think cost me about $17 Canadian, and
Yeah.
then I'd placed a couple of different orders. They put
Hmm.
them into 3 different shipments. And when I asked them why, they said it's just cheaper for us. It's no big deal. We'll send you out what we have. When we get
Hmm.
in the other one, we'll send it to you. So I mean, they're so good, and they come really fast, between 7 and 10 days. Like
Oh,
I
serious?
got the books, the first order from them within a week from UK to Canada.
Wow.
So which normally if you're sending by boat, it's taken like a month to get there, as you well know, right? So
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's a bit of a distance, but they're really easy to deal with. I haven't had an issue yet.
Hmm.
I mean, I wish they were even more comics focused. They do have a pretty good stockpile of stuff for sure,
Yeah.
but
I,
they sell a whole bunch of books as well too, not
uh,
just comics.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Mm. Yeah, definitely something I like. The minute you showed as I say, I don't know what's going on with me, but I'm a sucker for whatever Western things coming in. It's just like, oh yeah, I need to check it out and actually
yeah,
sample it, read it. It really appeals to me that I don't know. It's the guns blazing, all that Italian spaghetti, the Western stuff. It's just like,
yeah,
it's so good, so good.
yeah.
And
It's so
especially
good.
if it's translated in art, like in a beautifully presented way.
Yeah,
Why wouldn't you want to read that kind of stuff, kind of thing?
yeah,
So
totally.
yeah, so it's great.
Yeah, I mean, my only thing is I wish that the volumes of these were a little bigger. I wish they
Like
were kind of like
I'm
the
so saying.
the bigger album size. You know what I mean? They're a
Mhm.
little bit smaller. It's still like it's not horrible by any stretch. It's only a tiny bit smaller, but there's something about this format that just works really well, right? It's nice
Mm.
to read it on that little bit bigger.
Okay, thanks, Francis. I definitely gonna look. I know
Oh,
exactly.
books, etc. Hey, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
yeah. Anything else that you're reading? What else you've been besides Invincible and
Like Jared Osborne has his like comic books for covers. I have comic books whatever from my I want to read. This is I have just started it. I just wanted to go back and read Deathlock.
oh yeah,
Um, it's just a classic kind of thing. Okay. It's a first appearance, blah blah blah. Thankfully, I
yeah,
have
yeah,
it. I'm very happy about, but its art is really good. Duck
oh
Monk.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's the guy. And look at the pages. I mean, come on, it's really
yeah.
good.
It's great.
It's it starts really nicely. You get this guy chasing somebody who he needs to kill, and you find out, like, spoiler alert, I guess, but it's like really old comic book. but his brain, half brain, is there in his head, and then he's getting a sense of humanity, kind of like he has feelings he's not supposed to. And in the first
Okay.
couple of pages, we find out that he's tried to kill somebody, and he's like, "No, I'm gonna taunt you. I'm gonna like make you suffer." And he's like, computer's like, "No, this is not supposed to be like this. Like you're not supposed to have feelings." And he's like, "Shut up. I'm still gonna kill him. I'm just gonna do it my way." Kind of. So yeah, really cool. Um,
It looks great. Yeah.
yeah, it's a typical that era comic book, I guess, for me. But I like
Hmm.
it's like like okay, compared to this is a Marvel's version of or DC's version of Deadshot kind of thing, I think. Anyway, so
Yeah.
it's Marvel version of that kind of, because at the end of the day you have similar characters in both universes. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
what is interesting in here as well, there's this page where they basically dissect him and tell him exactly all this stuff, which is really cool. I like that.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean? Like it says all that stuff like pneumatic lenses, Riker eyes only priority one, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of interesting,
Hmm.
like that's kind of like a story, uh, like background you get, and yeah,
It's
it's
almost
really
like in like an RPG or something, like a role playing
yeah,
game. Here's
yeah,
the
exactly,
stats on the
yeah.
character. Yeah.
And this is like like one of the last pages. But anyway, it's really good. I like the coloring.
Yep.
Like just that sense of really beautiful. And of course, don't forget, if you wanted this, make sure this Marvel stamp
Oh
value
yeah, it's still in
is
there. Oh wow.
intact. So I'm not gonna cut it out. Although many times I was like, maybe like, especially when ETA Nick starts showing his value stamp collection. Do you remember
Yeah.
those videos he used to do? I was
Do
like,
I? Oh
oh,
my God, do I ever?
it's like,
Drooling, watching those drooling, and then
yeah,
immediately going to eBay to look for a book for myself and seeing
yeah,
how goddamn expensive they are. And I was
yeah.
like, fucking hell. Because I mean, that is right up my alley. That is fantastic. Do I still
Mm-hmm.
have
Well,
oh, it's not around. Because I mean the one that I did, the comics one for the YouTube comics community one,
yeah.
that
Mm-hmm.
version of it.
Yeah,
We used to hang
exactly.
out back there, but yeah. Yeah, no, I
Mm-hmm.
loved ETA Nick's videos about those. Those were fantastic, man.
Mm-hmm.
That hits every button in the collector,
Yeah.
sorter, filing weirdo in my head, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely, and then how meticulous he was when he was, like showing how to cut it out and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's just like exact spot on things for you. Like
yeah,
the people who actually, you could actually make those ASMR videos of it just cutting
yeah,
into the groove and kind of stuff. Just
yeah,
make it extra weird if for some people.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Cutting
So
stuff out.
I like to like Jared Osborne videos. He also shows the cover. He just buys the comic book for covers and he just puts it on his printer, like he says. I like
Yep.
to have that. Like I take out the comic book from a collection and just go sample it and see just random stuff. Like the
Yep.
other day I took out was it? Oh yeah, Fables. Oh, talking about
Yep.
now, Mr. Damien has showed a video of his whatever he's picking up, and then he's talking about Jack of Fables, and that reminded me of Fables. One
Yep.
series, another series I have not finished reading, which I
Hmm.
love, and all that Buckingham stuff and all that stuff. Oh, it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
beautiful, absolute fantastic fairy tales, but to a never level and all that stuff. So that's another one I'm gonna go back into or try to start reading, because
Hmm.
it's definitely something I always enjoyed reading, and I know I can have enough. Like I don't think I have a whole collection, because when I start reading comic books, Fables was right into it already. Like so, I had to
Okay.
go hunting for back issues and all that stuff. But I have enough to start get that good feel of Fables again. So yeah, Damien's video just basically reminded me of having to go and read Fables now and just give it
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
that book an actual proper chance, because it's definitely really well written,
yeah.
beautifully drawn every single time, just no problem at time, and the covers are amazing as well. So
They really
def-
are. Yeah,
definitely something is going to be next on my reading list. I mean, it's small things at the time. My
yeah,
pull
yeah.
is so really shrunk. Now my comic book eye is struggling to get comic books because of this COVID stuff going on.
Oh
So
wow. Yeah.
um it's like I'm like very sporadically getting something. So I haven't had my comic books coming like for like a couple of good weeks now. So I haven't
Yep.
seen like, or even I, like I receive once per month because I save on postage. But even though I like, you can order every week, I check whatever is coming out. I can't really get it because of, like he's struggling to get hold of the comic books he needs to
Getting the
get.
books themselves. Wow. Yeah.
And it's like can drive me kind of crazy sometimes because when I see like people in America who can get the comic books because they don't have to get shipped.
Yep.
So they show those books and like, oh, I'm supposed to like I know it's supposed to be on my pull list, but I can't get it like 2 weeks after, or like that 5 years it took like 3-4 months until I received the last issue, which is
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely crazy, but you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my pull list is so diminished, so I'm not be able to read that I start reading whatever I have in my collection, which is actually really good. A lot
Oh,
of people
totally.
don't have, like so lots of people don't have time to go back to their collections. And I
Hmm.
think that's really good for me at the moment because I can appreciate whatever previous creators have created and then like be like, oh, I've read it, and like like I have that, I don't know, experience comic book reader I can tell myself that I am
Yep. Yep.
because I've read so many things. Anyway,
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, it's good to go back and revisit, right? Like it's nice to go
Yeah.
back and revisit some stories that you haven't read in a long time. I mean,
Yeah.
otherwise they're just taking up space on a shelf, really. And it's like, yeah,
Well, that's the thing. This, the collections are there not just be for us to be kept, but there's the purpose for them. Like you can go
yeah,
back and start reading and appreciate why you're doing that. Like that's
yeah,
why I like to go randomly, just rummage through my one comic books and see what I have and remember what I have, because definitely I don't remember everything I have.
yeah, yeah,
Presume I'm having it, and it's like when I start looking and I can't find it, that drives me nuts. It's like, I
yeah,
know
yeah,
this cover, I have seen it, and you probably see it because you were looking and you say, "Oh, it's too expensive," so you put it back.
yeah,
But in your
yeah,
head, you think, "Oh, I bought it actually," and you're like,
yeah,
"Oh, fuck that! I did. I don't have it." It's like, "Oh
yeah,
shit!" Especially when you have a run of series like, oh yeah, I have a run of series like a Bad Girl. I
eh,
think more than three Stephanie thingy name anyway. So her run is about 25 issues, one measle comic book missing,
uh-huh,
and I can't get it because it's fucking expensive, and I thought I had
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Ugh, it's just trying, and just why it's so expensive because of the cover.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Gretzky, hello.
Mr. Gretzky, hello.
Yeah. So it's because of that famous cover artist. Oh, I don't remember his name, but
Yeah, sorry,
he's
I don't
like
know.
a manga style art.
Oh, really?
It's gonna drive me nuts now. Every single time we have a conversation, names is like, "Poof,
Yeah,
fuck you, bye bye, see you later."
yeah, yeah,
Like stop recording, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's the guy."
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you talk now.
Okay. Um, I mean, talking about like, I guess just trying to feed off of what you were talking about, the going back and revisiting. One of the things that I revisited because I picked up a few more issues was
Uh-huh.
Pete Bag's Neat Stuff,
Okay, yeah, I've seen you going back underground stuff.
and holy smokes, it was so much fun to read this again. Like I haven't read the adventures of Buddy Bradley and his family in a long time, right? Like, I'll just show you. I pulled it off the
Mhm.
shelf. This is my bought off the shelf copy of the Bradleys. It's all torn to
Mhm.
shit. It's traveled with me everywhere, right? So I mean,
Mhm.
this was the book. Like this book for me, I don't know how many times I read this.
Uh-huh.
Um, incredible stuff. So the one thing, like I got
Mhm.
3 issues recently of Neat Stuff from that trade that I did with Greg in town. And I just pulled this one out because this one, out of all of the issues, they're great. Here, I'll go full screen again. Oh my God, Adam, you're supposed to be doing this stuff. I'm supposed to look up and it's just there. Jesus. um,
So much work. Eh?
so I mean, like this was my Simpsons, I guess. This family was my Simpsons, the Bradleys. But in this issue,
Eesh.
it's the start of what turns into one of my favorite kind of Buddy Bradley stories of all time. he kind
Mm-hmm.
of discovers this record shop. He's a big music collector, especially 60s rock and roll and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then he discovers he meets this kind of old hippie guy in the store, and he turns him on to this used record store that's like a couple of blocks away or whatever it is, where they have the same records that he's looking for dirt cheap. And
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of what starts his I don't know, Buddy Bradley's story just takes off from that point. Like up until this point, like Neat Stuff is really an anthology of a bunch of different characters: Studs,
Mm-hmm.
Kirby, Girly Girl, and Chucky Boy,
Mm-hmm.
the Leeways, Bunny and Chet Leeway. So all of these other things, but at this point, it really starts to focus on. There we go. There's Studs Kirby.
Mm-hmm.
Really starts to focus on Buddy Bradley and kind of his adventures. And I mean, he was just this stoner teenager, not really giving two shits about school, nothing like that whatsoever. So I mean, especially as a kid living in the suburbs like Buddy Bradley was,
Mm-hmm.
man, this shit like just worked for me so well at the time. Really, really important to my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Not the most mainstream stuff Peter Badge ever did. I would say so. I mean, I guess as mainstream as any of his stuff would get.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's worked on a bunch of shit. He even worked in Cracked magazine as well for a period of time. I think maybe around the same time that Klaus did, or maybe just afterwards. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Weekly World News. It's one of those tabloid type of magazines. He
Mm-hmm.
did a run of comics in there about Bat Boy, which was kind of an infamous tabloid kind of news story. So Pete Bagg worked for them for a while as well.
Mm-hmm.
But seriously, rereading that issue, it was so great, transported me exactly back to kind of being this awkward teenager, which isn't always the most comfortable mindset to be in, but it was entertaining for at least
Mm-hmm.
one issue to go back into it. And his art is just solid. There's some work in the magazines there. And again, it's that little bit of a bigger size. Pete
Yeah.
Bagg's got a really distinct style.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anybody who looks like him, with the bold lines and just the crazy way that he draws characters and the facial features and the way that they
Mm-hmm.
hold their bodies and everything with their
Mm-hmm.
scrawny arms and scrawny legs.
Yeah, nice. That looks
It's
really
great.
cool. Every
So
single time,
much fun.
every single time you show those kind of things, I was like, oh, I probably wanted to get some. Like you get me that. I never were like underground comic books. Never felt like for me like ever gonna be something to appeal because I'm never
Yep.
like you have your history that kind of thing.
Yep.
Like it's something very important for you. So every single
Yep.
time you go those videos, it's like I start watching them. It's like, oh my god, I'm gonna get into something. So I always buy
Yeah.
something like whatever I can, like not like too much, but if I can sample it and see if I like it and stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's always like this with YouTube videos, people on the videos and they start showing and they show you that passion. You're like, oh yeah, I probably got
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
like I would like to get into. By the way, just to mention, this is the cover. Bullshit.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, it's beautiful cover.
Yeah. Who's
But
the artist?
oh, I don't know. It doesn't
Oh,
say
okay.
it.
Sorry. I thought you said the name and I missed it again.
No, it's not. It's famous. It's basic. I
Yeah.
don't know the name. Doesn't matter. But I just wanted to show it to you, the cover, which bugs me all the time. I see it's like because it's the thing is of I could buy it, but I don't want to overpay it basically. And there's the principle of that.
Is it that Art Germ character? Is it that guy?
There you go. That's
Okay,
the guy.
there you go.
That's
Okay.
yeah, that's the guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So he's very popular in these covers.
Super
And-
popular, right? Like I had
Yes.
no idea.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. You would there's lots of covers he done, and it always sells out. People
Yeah.
collect sometimes just covers, just comic books just for his covers, and that's how
Wow.
he gained so much popularity, especially in DCs, because he had like a lot of them coming out everywhere. So yeah, this is one of this stuff.
I wonder what those cover artists like. I wonder how lucrative that is, because I mean, there's a few people that they'll just do covers or whatever, not interiors. I mean, which in a way, like you can spend more time on just the one piece of art.
Yeah.
You're not tied to doing a monthly book. You can probably sell the art, a lot easier. Well, I guess some of the stuff, if you have ownership of it, right? I assume is a big thing. But I wonder what the price tag is on those, because I'm guessing you can pump them out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. It's very lucrative. Like
Yeah.
Alex Ross, he is only doing that. But
That's all he
okay,
does. Yeah.
yeah, but don't forget he has his own like high experience and
Yep.
stardom kind of thing to do the kind of get all the highest bucket ever possible. But anybody who gets into comic art, I think they definitely it appeals them. I think they quite a lot of money coming in there for them for just concentrating on art cover. But it's
Mhm.
highly stressful as well. I mean, imagine you have
Oh,
to
totally.
competition, and afterwards you find out some of the guys who's doing covers they mock up from our artist, steals the art from them, put them in their own art, and then tell them
Yeah.
that's him, and get the fame. And then somebody finds out, like whatever that website is, who finds out all the details.
Yeah. The comic
So,
swipe or whatever. Like, yeah.
yeah, anyway, that website, some of the artists like who have done comic art just for covers, they get found out, and they're like, oh, we steal your, and they popularity shuts down into
Okay.
nothingness because of that. So
Hmm.
yeah, but I think it's very lucrative. I think it's well worth it. I mean, it's less time to take and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
mm,
Just wanted to put this up.
yeah.
Google Angeli Scrotinos. See if you can find some similarities to Peter Bagge. Angeli is a Brazilian underground cartoonist, active in the 80s and 90s mostly. I'll absolutely look for that. That's intriguing to me.
That's cool.
Hide that. As a matter of fact, what I'm gonna do, as we've done before, I'm just gonna take a quick picture of that so I
Yeah.
remember the name actually.
What about
And I mean
what
the
happened?
thing with like that era of Fantagraphics too, just to kind of
Yeah.
finish that thought, the era of Fantagraphics and like indie
Mhm.
books. I mean, to me, that's like my Marvel and my DC. You know what I mean? Like that's
Mhm.
the stuff that when I
Mhm.
discovered that and reading that stuff, that's the stuff that really, really resonated with me like a lot. I mean, I
Mhm.
dipped my toes into some of the superhero stuff too, and I didn't dislike it. It's just that stuff really hit a note because I was the perfect age, the kind of perfect kind of geek, skater, stoner, whatever. You know what I mean? This just completely appealed to me and sucked me in. But I mean, Pete Bagge, Jim Woodring, those guys specifically, Dan Clowes for sure. But I would say out of all of them, Pete Bagge really resonated because of that character in the suburbs and this kind of shit that he was dealing with. And,
Mhm.
most, a lot of it brought upon himself, right? He was kind of a dick.
Mhm.
Really just phenomenal storytelling, really, really funny stuff. And again, like comedy in general is so goddamn tough. Comedy in
Mhm.
comics is so fucking difficult. It takes a lot to get a laugh out of me when I'm reading something, so
Yeah, it's difficult to translate that. You know what I mean? Art
yep.
form first, and then language form a second, and you have to mash them together and actually make sense to you, and you get crack of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, actually be a good gag.
you're just seeing that green ghost every single time I think about it now. Can't stop
Just
laughing.
seeing, sorry, say that again.
Green ghost. Do you know what we're
Oh yeah,
talking
yeah.
about? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
With the nutsack, yeah.
yeah. Can't stop laughing just thinking about it.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
I probably now this is gonna be disdaining my Green Lantern things, because every single time I'm gonna think about that, it's gonna be that as well. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's
When
hilarious.
you say the nutsack, it reminds me of the Brat Pack, the Veach series. I don't know
Mhm.
if you read Brat Pack. One of the covers is of one of the female superheroes, and she's got what is exactly a nutsack hanging off of her belt. It's phenomenal. It's some really ridiculously good art. Um, One of the other things I read and completely got back
Mm.
into, uh, my friend Thorgal, which like at this point I've got the first 9 volumes. I'm just waiting for volume 3 to come in the mail.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, every single time I sit down to read it, it takes about a half a second, no matter how long it's been since I've read the last one.
Uh-huh.
I just get into it right
Oh,
away.
yeah.
I'll do
Yeah.
this again. Adam, Jesus, Adam. um, it's so great.
Wow,
Like,
yeah.
look at this page
Mhm.
there. That page is unbelievable. There's like hints of Tim Truman in that face in the sky behind him.
Yeah.
It is just such a fun book. And again, like I'm not much into fantasy books and stuff, and
Mhm.
this is very fantasy. Also a bit of Vikings, also a bit of sci-fi,
Yeah.
also a bit of Conan-ish. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
adventure
yeah,
type
yeah.
comics, I guess is what I want to say, because it's not
Mhm.
really Conan, but and the art is incredible. Like the art is
Yeah, yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. Mhm.
And it's just such a good story. It is, one of those of just taking a shot and buying a cheap book and completely hooked.
Yeah.
So I mean, and there's a lot that's translated. The only problem is the first, what is it, five, or I think it's the first 6 volumes are kind of 2 books in one, and then at that point, 7 till however many they printed, 15, 20, I don't even know what number they're up to. They're only single. So this
Yeah.
one basically has 2 stories in these first 6 volumes. Everything after that is basically one story, but it's all still the same price, which is kind of a bummer. And again, it's not something that I don't think it's collected in any other form in English, because that would be really nice to have in kind of hardcover collections as well too. But yeah, no, and completely different from Western. Absolutely, totally different.
So it's the same
They
artist.
feel like.
That's why.
Sorry, go
Sorry,
ahead.
sorry, I'm interrupted. But when you
Yeah,
were
yeah.
showing that before, because it's the same artist who then he's doing the floral. Yeah.
Yeah, the Western. Yeah, same team. So I mean, I think it feels like they're kind of like the Brubaker Phillips, where they just had this team up that was completely successful. Did that one shot that, I mean, I don't know what the reception was for Western, but I mean, again, it just feels like, yeah, this is the team, you're familiar with their writing, and man, it's so great. And again, it's one of those things for me of like, I just wish there was more European stuff here that I could easily access,
Yeah.
and there was more translated, because I'm seriously devouring. I have such an appetite for this right now. I've kind of done my Vertigo, where I read a bunch of Vertigo. I've done my Corbin, where I read a bunch of Corbin. Right now, it's European stuff. Like I just cannot get enough. I ordered 2 more volumes of Valerian as well, because I read this one pretty damn quick. And this was super fun, a super fun read. So I can't wait to dig into a couple more. I know that there's the big collected editions, but again, I'm kind of partial to this format. I'll do this again here.
Yeah.
I'm just so partial to this format. It's a nice bite-sized chunk of a story. The colors are, I think the coloring is great in these editions. Beautiful. And this one seems to be, they did the movie not too long ago. What is it, 2017 or something? I enjoyed the movie, and it feels like this one volume itself. So this is volume, what is it, 4? I don't remember. I think it was book 4, if I'm remembering from the inside. It feels like this is the book where they really picked a lot of stuff out for the movie. So it was kind of nice to read this after seeing the movie. My son and I watched it a few months back, 6 months back. I don't know how long. But it's a hell of a story. I mean,
you talking about that movie with which just came out? Oh yeah, that with that English chick as the main character.
yeah, I'm so bad with actors' names. Yeah,
Yeah, that's why I'm struggling to kind of describe her. But yeah, she's.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. I watched the movie as well.
yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Well, and the thing that was impressive with this too was like, she takes a real front seat, and I guess throughout the history of the book, I'm totally blanking on her character's name right now, but she is kind of equal, if not kind of smarter and more important to the story than Valerian is himself, right? Like, she goes out and saves him. There was actually, I'll show you one thing. I just wanted to highlight this one. Van Ham is a great writer too. 13, and 13 is a phenomenal series. I'm only part way through that. I've only got a few volumes of that, but I absolutely love 13. I'll just show you one thing here that I enjoyed quite a bit.
His name is Laureline.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
They go to this bar where basically your fantasies come true.
Oh.
And usually it would be the guy going into the bar, and you'd see a bunch of half-naked women. In this case, she goes into the bar, and she kind of enters this fantasy with all these muscular dudes, and who are, it's great. Like, it's just nice to have a bit of a different angle on something instead of the same shit you see all the time, like the male hero going to rescue the female. Like, it's impressive. There's nothing like a nice, strong female character. Again, that's one volume I've read. I mean, maybe it changes a little bit through the other volumes. I doubt it, but yeah.
So how does those stories, are they one-off, like contain stories in one volume, or do you follow? You have to follow them one, two, three, like like proper volume stuff.
I mean, even with Thorgal, I jumped in on Thorgal on volume 4 and I didn't feel lost whatsoever.
Oh.
There's continuing story for sure, because I mean, there's kind of like their lifespan, but the way something like Thorgal works, for example, they jump kind of back and forth to the history anyway. And I
Mhm.
felt the same with Valerian. Like, sure, there's a little bit of backstory about the characters that I might not be caught up on and some of the relationships and stuff, but
Yeah.
I didn't feel lost whatsoever. Like, it was a contained story. Whether that's the way through all the other volumes, I'm not really sure. I guess we'll find out
Mhm.
when I get these other 2 volumes. But I didn't feel lost. I felt really comfortable jumping in. I didn't feel like I was missing anything.
Uh-huh.
It was still a really fun read,
Okay.
which again, that's, kind of the way that some of these, there's that kind of sweet spot, right? Of
Mhm.
having this continuing story with a bunch of characters, but
Yeah.
still having that ability to do an issue where it's one story, where you
Mhm.
don't necessarily need to know that story to read the rest of it. You
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
get more character notes, right? Like
Mhm.
that's goddamn difficult to do. And
Yeah.
it's nice to be a part of and read.
Well, that's the thing, the beauty about having to read those albums. I don't know. It's just the way they do it. You get into it and you can't stop it. Like it's so well developed the storyline. And I guess yes, for some people, for storage wise, the bigger book and blah blah blah, the
Yeah.
format. Somebody has problem with that, but honestly,
Yeah.
when you have the art just bigger a little bit, that just enhance that the feel of it, or the atmosphere of your reading kind of thing, which is
Yeah.
really appeals to me, and I always enjoyed having, especially if it's like if it's something appeals to you and it's so beautiful to look at, the bigger is the better, all the time. So
Yeah. No, totally.
Okay.
Francis O'Reilly dropping nuggets here. Valerian and Laureline is another great series.
Mhm.
Christian and Miseries produce a wonderful series. And then his work with Enki Belial is also worth checking out. I'll absolutely check that out. I know a little bit of Belial's stuff, not a lot.
Mhm. Okay. I'm
Um,
wondering about that 13 because I don't remember. Have you ever showed it, or when did you
I
show it?
may have, yeah.
Next time when we
It's
chat, you can show it to us.
unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really,
So.
really such a great story. So I discovered 13. My brother gave me an Xbox game, no, not an Xbox, a GameCube. So my
Mhm.
brother's a big video game guy. And when he upgrades his system, what he used to do is he'd give me the old system. I play the old system for like a week and then I lose interest and put it in a box kind of thing. But one of the games that he gave me with Xbox was 13.
Mhm.
And I immediately got sucked into that game. It's a
Oh, really?
phenomenal video game. There's a really good story. You're a spy. You're going and completing these missions.
Mhm.
Completely got sucked into it. Then all of a sudden, I walk into one of the comic shop and I see an edition that Marvel had done of 13. Didn't realize that it was a comic and discovered it that way. And once I
Wow.
started reading the comic, and it's this guy who's kind of lost his memory and he's
Mhm.
just going through the he's going through trying to figure out who he is and what his relationship is to this kind of secret organization, et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm.
And that's really, really basic because there's so much more than that. But it is so fucking good. It's so damn good. Like
Mhm.
I'm amazed by it. So it's another one that you can see on Book Depository.
Mhm.
Highly recommended checking out like volume 1 of that if that's ever, and it's just XII. I think it's actually Code 13 is what it's called. I'm just trying to see on the shelf,
Okay.
and I think it's Comcat. Yeah, I think that's what that says, Comcat, and it's completely
Mhm.
and a really engaging read for sure.
Cool. I'm definitely something gets in me intrigued. That's why I want to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's so much. Gore is saying he discovered Valerian in Heavy Metal magazine in the 70s. I think it goes back to the late 60s. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Um, the other one, there's just a couple more things here I'll just jump into. Actually,
Yeah.
2 more things, and maybe we'll go to this one because the
Mhm.
other one that continually blows my mind when I'm reading it is this. It's Jeremiah is basically the series
Mhm.
solo layout. Geez, Adam. The Eyes That Burn. So I guess Fantagraphics did a couple of
Mhm.
volumes
Mhm.
of this.
Wow.
They reprinted 2 volumes, and this one is book 1, I think, and then they skipped a couple of books, and then this one is book 4. And again, it's another one that it doesn't matter where you jump in, to me anyway. And there was some hardcover. I think there was 3 hardcover collections by Dark Horse that are long out of print. This is the only one I've ever seen. Even looking online, I can't seem to find them that easily, which kind of sucks because I really want to read more.
Yeah.
And it's just another one that's beautifully illustrated in that kind of, again, like almost that Blueberry Mobius kind of style, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
And the colors and everything. So this one is almost borders on kind of a horror story as well, because there's this kind of sorcerer in it, and this creature
really
that he has under his spell and stuff, and all these, they enter this kind of part of the dead forest, so you get all that nice dead branches enveloping him and stuff. Super fun read as well. And then just the last one, I'll just fire to the last one there.
Okay.
Was this Kelly Green that I was talking to Gore about last night a little bit. The first 3 volumes. Gore's done a video on it. I think Earl Grey's done a video too, maybe. I can't remember who else did it. A couple of people, and I think maybe Damien bought a collection or was thinking about buying the collection, because you can get this in a hardcover collection that collects all of these plus another story that wasn't printed in English, I believe, or was it not published at all, Gore? I don't remember the details of it. And I mean, it's kind of, it's a crime story as well too, focused on this woman, Kelly Green. And it kind of had there was a lot of kind of Miss Tree in it, actually, Rasa. There was a couple of moments where it really reminded me of Miss Tree, like with some of the backstory, her husband being a cop, etc. Except this one is much grittier than Miss Tree. So she kind of, sorry, go ahead.
No. Just like, what you mean, like more darker storytelling, or
a little bit more darker for sure, and not as pulpy, I guess, is maybe what I mean. Because I find Miss Tree to be a little more pulpy, that kind of, like, in a good way, not a not a bad way, like that kind of pulp character. Where Kelly Green seems to be kind of like the rougher 70s version of that kind of idea, where Miss Tree feels a little more kind of classic. And this 3rd volume is the one that kind of impressed me the most out of all of them. I was saying to Gore last night on a video, they use the term faggot a couple of times in a couple of volumes, and it really turned me off. Like, and I'm not really turned off by stuff that much. I mean, you know, considering some of the crazy undergrounds and shit that I read, but for some reason, the way that it was portrayed in the books, it just really turned me off. And not in a way where it's like, oh my God, cancel this. This is so horrible. Just that I realized this is of the time and this is a different voice. It's just, for me, it stood out to me that it was something that it just left it just left a bad taste in my mouth. But that said, this final volume that I have here, this volume 3, I think was the best one. And it definitely was the grittiest of all of them. There's a plane crash and all the stuff that happens from there. Really, really, really good. You know, it's maybe one that I wouldn't say rush out and get, but it is worth a read if you ever do see it for dirt cheap. You know, it's worth checking out for sure.
I already looked up, and it's not easy to find, especially online so far. And if it's that collected edition, it's like at least 70 quid.
Oh wow!
So not cheap.
Damien is saying he bought the hardcover green. Downside, it was black and white. Okay, yeah. Okay, I wouldn't mind seeing it in black and white. I should maybe look at that video again. I think Gore maybe showed some interiors of it as well too. I should have a look. And then Francis is saying, really hard to find Jeremiah in English. Yeah, Herman does fantastic stuff. So it's a real shame we can't get a hold of them more easily. Absolutely. And it's funny how some of that stuff goes out of print from some of these companies. It's unfortunate. I get it. You know, they're only going to sell so much, and it takes a lot to reprint it if you're just going to sit on the stock. But it is unfortunate because it's fun stuff. The other one that I have of Jeremiah is another bowling one, and I think this was one of my favorite stories out of like these album ones that I have. This one was a hell of a lot of fun. So yeah.
Well, that's the thing. those things are so great would be to find out, but and like to discover as well. But this you have to go through quite a thing just to get hold of them, and
Yeah.
it's. I mean, it's definitely very exciting when you do get hold of them, and then you don't want to get away, like you don't want to sell them anyway. So yeah, it's like I said, like the Kelly Green. I don't know. I mean, so far I wasn't going to look too deep into it, but whatever I've looked, especially like easy things like to look up eBay or something, other ones,
Yeah.
one available on eBay probably, and then everything or Germany or somewhere else. But
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's in English or not. So kind of
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that's the down part. But yeah, the Jeremiah as well. I think I looked it up, and it's never been easy from there
No.
to there. Sometimes you can, and then you show you find it and you show it, and like, oh shit, I would like to actually read it, but
Yeah. Yeah.
especially art wise, and then everything you show is like exactly what I would like to look at, like,
Yeah.
or read, because it just really appeals to me, that kind of stuff, especially that Kelly
Yeah, and
Green
that's
page
exactly
and
what
stuff.
it is for me. Like that style, the format, the art, the coloring, like
Yeah.
the storytelling. I'm just right there right now. I'm incredibly in that zone of like all of it is working so well for me. And I mean, again, it's just by total fluke that
Hmm.
Greg had a bunch of this stuff for trade, and we were able to work out a deal, right?
Yeah.
And again, like the bonus of I'm not selling as much on Discogs anymore, but it is really nice when I do
Hmm.
make a couple of sales and then that
Yeah.
money gets into PayPal and it's like, okay, well, I'm going to book depository because it's not my money. There's that kind of feeling to it, right? Like,
Yeah.
well, it's just bonus money, so I'm just going to buy a couple more books
Yeah.
because it's not always doable, right? Even at $17 a book, well, not even at, I mean, $17 a book Canadian is still $17, right?
Yeah.
So
Exactly. Yeah.
we're looking at almost $40 just to buy 2 volumes, right? So,
Exactly.
but I'm glad that Discogs has paid out for me to some degree. It's allowed me to kind of just order a bunch of shit, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the Yeah, I like doing that as well. I had the pleasure of having to sell some, which was the first time I've done it, and it was really good. Even when you when they say when your collection can pay for whatever you do, why wouldn't you do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can do that, of course. That's another
Yeah.
thing. But that's the beauty of the things we can find. But I remember those days where I was like, oh no, okay, like the blueberry stuff.
Hmm.
When I got a word of blueberry, the minute I started looking for it, that was like a what 4 maybe 5 year journey to actually collect them all,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's crazy. I mean, but now I have it and it's beautiful. But now, like even thinking about whatever it appeals to me, if I would like, I was going searching for comic books, especially that album art, like French translated stuff. Now I before used to be thinking, oh, I'll buy it next time, that kind of thing. But
Hmm.
now it's like now in the back of my head, if I see something like blueberry stuff, I never like I probably would buy it again
Yeah.
because you don't see them as often. But when you find it, you're just like, oh shit, you discovered something you are able to buy. So
Totally.
mm.
Well, and that's exactly what it is, right? Like, some of the guys in town,
Hmm.
me and my 47-year-old back and my knees on the ground crouching through bins, and they're just, hey, what are you going to find down there? It's like, man, you don't know what you're going to find down here. That's why I'm down here looking through these bins. Nobody else is looking through them. Who the fuck knows what's in there? Because
Yeah, yeah,
maybe there's one good book out of these 6 bins, but god damn it, I'm going to find it, because that's
yeah,
exactly what it is. You don't see that stuff. So when I see it, if I can afford it, if I grab it right away. I don't even second guess it. I just give it a shot, especially if it's cheap, right? Like
yeah.
I'll bring it home. Worst comes to worst, I just trade it back in, right? So
Mm. Well,
yeah,
that's the thing. Your beauty for you to you can sell it and you can get as I say
yeah,
some credit back and read more things and discover
yeah,
more
yeah,
things. It's really a
yeah,
beautiful thing to do. Anyway.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's the good thing about the digital, though. I mean, there's so much stuff out there digitally that it's, I
Yeah.
don't know how, actually, wasn't it you? I thought it was you told me about that website once too that had a bunch of European stuff
It's
translated,
gone, I
right?
think now. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
gone now. I think I was looking back again to see if it's there. I think it's gone now.
Oh,
Well,
shitty. Okay.
yeah, but there is some beauty. Like you can find something like that, but as I say, by chance, especially when you know specific names, like creator names, the names of the albums, whatever you do, that kind of things usually pops up. But yeah, but digital is one. It's another beast. it's very
Yeah.
different for me, especially for me. It's very different experience. Yes, I do enjoy it. I thoroughly did, like whatever I've read, but the mind in my for me especially, I don't keep that much information after that. While I'm reading it, while I'm in that moment, while I'm in that month or whatever, like a week or two, whatever I'm spending time to read that stuff. It's there,
Mhm.
very fresh, very nice, but it doesn't keep. I read a physical comic book, it keeps. It's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
I guess it's just that registration thing of flipping the page, that
Yeah. Yeah.
experience
Yeah.
for me in my brain. It just clicks, like that's why I do in generally prefer to do that. But sometimes we
Mhm.
don't have a choice, or we
Mhm.
choose to do that for a reason, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I go that route. Yeah. So maybe I'll go that route with a Kelly Green. I don't know if there's available
Yeah.
on digital versions. If I do, probably I will do
Yeah.
it.
Even just to sample it and just see what it's like. Yeah.
Yeah, especially like to see if it's actually something for me anyway. So yeah.
Mhm. Cool. I mean, that's all my stuff I've read. Was there anything else that you've read? Anything else that's been going on?
I don't know. I'm good point about it. I don't know. I've been reading, as I say, I've been sampling so many things. I'm kind of like at loss what have done.
Yeah.
The funny digital bone, which I read, is still
Yep.
fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
It's like there's a snippets I remember of what I've read, which is really good. I feel like it's because of maybe the story or the way I felt about it when after reading it's definitely very fresh on my mind. But
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't read too many things. I am always reading. I'm always looking to see. I always watch like YouTube videos, see what people reading and see like whatever. Sleepy's is good to watch because he shows all the new comic books, what he's reading and
Yeah.
what's his
Totally.
interest. I like that. Like his opinion about the gives you from 10 to number one.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
gives you or whatever that number he picks, which is fantastic. Actually, it's a good way of reading new comic books and expressing yourself rather than being like methodical and like not to hurt people's feelings or kind of thing. It's just my opinion
Mhm.
about stuff. It just actually opens up a lot of parts where you think, oh yeah, you agree with person and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So that's why I was sampling the Batman. I think as I said to you, I read one of the issues of Fables, which I'm going back to read again,
Yep.
which is I'm really interested in that. And then I definitely looking forward to the new something new coming out, like it's come back from the recommender. Recommender's been
Oh yeah. That's
everywhere,
right.
and it's been
Yeah.
showing
Yeah.
those covers now. If you follow him on Twitter, there's lots of
I
covers
do. Yeah.
coming, and the covers are beautiful. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know how many artists he has asked to do that for him, but it seems to be every single time he posts something, it's just like brand new. So I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to that, and it's supposed to come out this month, but I'm not sure what's going to happen in this. Also, Peter Milligan is coming out DC Black Label book, isn't it?
Yes, I saw. Yeah, I think it was yesterday, the day before. I stumbled
Yeah,
across. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I'm kind of thinking about it, but not sure. Like his DC is a Black Label. It can be collected. You see, it gets collected, which is awesome. But
Yep.
who's artist? Because I don't remember.
I don't remember. I'd have to look on the Twitter again. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Mm.
Was that one? Was it called Girl? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
because I think there was also a Vertigo series that he did called the same thing, maybe.
Really?
Um, because I had a look through his. Uh, I guess I wasn't following him on Twitter, and then I saw somebody repost it or something like that when those
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
things come up, and then I
yeah.
started following him and kind of just scrolled through
Mm-hmm.
his feed a little bit. Yeah, for some reason the page isn't opening for me here, but I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
I'm on that for sure. And I mean, I think that's the thing for me, like just going back what you said about watching like Sleepy Reader or watching Chaos and
mhm.
Comics, because I still watch because it's nice to kind of keep my toes dipped into kind of what the new stuff is coming out. So it's great to see, especially those guys talking about
Mhm.
it because they do the Marvel and the DC, but they also do the indie stuff too, which is
Yeah,
great.
exactly.
Did you find it? Where are you searching?
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm not seeing.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you need it, Oh yeah, it just says okay. Well, Duncan Fedrego.
Okay.
No, Fagredo. Sorry, I'm butchering the name. But
Yeah.
I'll show you the cover for
Okay,
people to
hold on.
see.
Let me
There.
Let me do this thing again.
Yeah, there you
Oh
go.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Black Label book. I'm
Yeah, man,
definitely,
I'm all over it.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Duncan Fedgredo and Nathan Eyring. Oh my God, Eyring. Sorry,
Okay,
butchering the
yeah.
name.
It's the same with
But
me, yeah.
yeah, so oh yeah, look at that, another one. I've never seen this. No, did you see this?
Yeah, that's the Oh, okay.
That's
Oh,
his.
that's right. Yeah, that's also what was on his feed, right?
Yeah,
And what was the comic company on that one?
Upshot.
Upshot. Okay.
AWA, the Upshot. Peter
Uh-huh.
Milligan, Aiko, David Lorenzo, and Dean White. Dean White is good in colors, by the way.
That's a
He
great
was,
it's a great cover too.
yeah, he was I think one of 5 issues. I've never heard about a comic book company called Upshot. Anyway, he's going through the companies as well. I
Yeah.
wonder what is it about. Anyway, that's
I'm
just
glad that he's still around, man. Like that's been the one thing about revisiting all this Vertigo stuff, and I've talked
yeah,
about it here. Like
yeah,
the guy that stands out is the Peter Milligan stuff that I've read,
yeah.
some reread, and then some read for the first time. Man, he's good. He's so great.
The Enigma thing is still etched in my brain. Every single time
Yeah,
I see his name, is like that's the title for me, kind of
that's
thing.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, it's interesting to see how that he's. I mean, if he can continue doing it, is good, right? At the end of the day, so. But yeah, I'm
yeah,
intrigued by just seeing if that girl. Maybe I'll wait until you pick up. You tell me your opinion.
yeah,
then
yeah,
I
for
can
sure.
then I
I
can go
mean,
back.
it feels like lately I've been visiting on a weekly basis, you know what I mean? Like not on
Yeah,
Wednesday or anything, but taking a
yeah,
trip
yeah.
down to Galaxy just to visit and picking up a
Mhm.
couple of books. And there's, yeah, I'll absolutely pick that up for sure.
Yeah. Our upshot is.
AWF shot are fairly
Oh,
new. They've been releasing some interesting titles. And then Damien is saying that
uh,
brand new, but well funded and almost too slick. Oh, okay.
wow, too slick.
Too
Interesting.
slick. Yeah, yeah,
Mm. Oh, that's the thing, because I remember now Damien has mentioned it, because now he's mentioning Alex, no, Alex, yeah, Alex Alonso, yeah.
Alex
He,
Alinzo. Yeah.
yeah, he used to be editor of Marvel, who's
Oh,
gone now,
okay.
and he's going through
Oh,
it.
yes. I
That's
do
what he
remember
mentioned.
Damien talking about it. Yeah,
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 and then he's Enigma saying that 2000 AD and Milligan was writing in there,
yeah,
which is probably. I've never actually, you know what? Never sampled 2000 AD. And then people
yeah.
talking about it, Damien, the Adam was picking those up, and you're like, damn. I actually have. I think I should. I have collected edition of one of the Judge Dredd albums, like
Oh, yeah,
volumes. The art. Okay, give me a second.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
Not gonna break anything.
I'm gonna make the screen big.
There you go. Let me, so I can hear what I'm talking. There you go. A bit dust. But, uh, look at this. I mean, come
Oh,
on.
it's yeah,
It's really good. I mean, it's busy. But that's what it's all about. But so many crazy good panels. You're never gonna see a blank spot
yeah.
of of that kind of caliber, especially Judge Dredd. And then
Well,
the
and that
early,
glorious black and white as well, right? Like it looks
yeah,
so good.
uh-huh. Yeah, that's interesting. I really
Oh, it's
like
so
it.
great. Yeah.
But that's why I don't
Sorry,
like.
remind me the artist. Is it Esquera?
No, this
Carlos? Okay.
Mike McCannon. This
Oh,
one.
that's right. Yes. Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's why I hate collected editions, because of the gut loss. Oh. Let's see who's this. Brian Bolland. La la. This is what is beautiful.
Beauty.
Yeah, Brian Bolland kicked ass no matter where he went. There you go. More of his beauty. Now I want to read it. I think I'm gonna read this. Oh, that's the beauty of doing these videos. It makes you feel like you show something you have, and look at how busy is this. I mean, come on, beautiful. I love this. Judge Dredd is
I'm standing up as well.
yeah. Who's the artist? Oh, it doesn't say here. Anyway, it's so beautiful to look at. Oh, there you go. Where's yeah, a lot of Mike McKinnon in this volume. This one
Okay,
is
yeah.
Epic. It's case files. A case. Judge Ray's complete case files. Volume
Okay,
one.
1, 2.
This is volume two.
Yeah.
It's a really
Well,
good.
tell you what, you read that this week,
Uh-huh.
and I'll read this one that's been on my shelf forever. Judge Anderson, one of the the
This is
Judge Anderson collections that
this
I've
is
never read that I picked up.
this is Gary
I
Leach.
guess in 2000 AD DC, and I've never read it. So there you go.
Gary Leach.
Sorry, I'll make you big again. Hold on one sec.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Oh, look at that. Oof. You know that the Dread movie came out with have you watched
The newer one.
the newest one? Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Apparently, it's great though.
Oh, dude, go watch it.
Oh yeah, really?
I even have it on the Blu-ray. That's
Okay.
how much I liked it.
Yeah.
Because you know what he does. You know, like Sylvester Stallone movies. You have him taking out the helmet, but you never see Judge Dredd helmets out in comic books. And in that
Yeah.
movie, he's not taking out his mask at all.
Amazing.
At all, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's very contained storyline. It's one like building, and thing just happens, and it's really good. I liked it. And the chick who is the main baddie, she's from Game of Thrones.
Okay.
She's the sister, or that Cersei, I think is her name.
Okay.
Anyway, just a snippet of yeah. Yeah, it's just
Oh,
like
hold on. Keep that up.
it's beauty.
That's a huge book.
I know.
Sweet.
It looks big, but it's definitely great. I would like to have volume one, but that's mine. It's collected. It's those stories just contain some of that stuff. So, but just the art.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Judge Dredd. When you go into this, you just like you start looking at art, and you're like, "Am I reading a story, or am I looking at art?" Because it's so good. Because you tend to forget, you just want to flip page after flip, and this is the best. Fish Dread.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yes, even people actually. I saw one of conventions, and I went in here. I saw, those people go crazy for the get up, no, dress up. What is it called?
Yeah, cosplay.
Yeah. One dude had a fishbowl.
Oh, really?
he did precisely what that fish Judge Dredd was.
That's
and
amazing.
Thankfully, it wasn't the real fish, so I was very glad.
Yeah.
But there was water, everything, and I caught superb cosplay. But yeah,
that's pretty great.
That made me laugh, and always reminds me of American Dad. Have you ever watched American Dad?
No, but I know the show. Yeah, that animated show.
And that fish in the bowl. That's basically, and that if that had a voice, that probably would be. I would probably think of that, and that, while reading that about.
Yeah. Well, report back to us next week. I've got to. Holy smokes, Paulo.
What?
I'm back to school at age 40. Got to wake up early tomorrow. Holy smokes, man! I'm back to school. Well, have a good day at school, young man. Make sure you pack yourself a lunch before you go to bed, and be quiet when you get up in the morning.
Yes. Oh my God!
Thanks for hanging out, Paulo. That's great.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Yeah. So yeah, that's
all right.
That's definitely going to be my next read for sure.
Yeah,
it has to be.
I'm curious. I've read so little Judge Dredd. I think I might have like 1 or 2 of the Quality Comics reprints. So I've read so little. I just remember Judge Dredd from being a teenager with that Anthrax song, some heavy metal band.
It also says where it come from, like which procs.
Okay.
And the artists were Brian Ball, Dave Gibbons, Mike McKinnon, Brendan McCarthy, Brett Ewings, Gary Leach, and Ron Smith. I mean,
holy shit, man!
Look at that.
I should look. I've never seen those. Again, it's one of those things. I've never seen those volumes around here. It's just not something that we see.
Yeah, it's all. It doesn't even have any American price tag, so definitely UK based.
UK only. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But look, definitely great too. I
Maybe
mean,
we could work something out, Rasa, where like we exchange continents every once in a while. I'll go live where you are. You can come, like maybe a couple of months a year. In the,
no problem.
I've got a great idea for an Airbnb in the backyard. I'll hook you up with a good deal.
That's that's hilarious.
Yeah,
I
we'll
actually,
just trade.
that's a good spot. I don't have to pay. Well,
Yeah,
let's
well,
talk about it after
minimal. Yeah,
that.
we'll talk about it. We'll make it. We'll come to a deal.
Oh,
Miss Ski 361, how's it going, man?
yeah. How are you doing? And he's gonna to learn Java programming. Wow,
Yeah,
that's not for faint-hearted.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, my son and his friends, when it comes to all that kind of stuff, like
yeah.
boggles my mind. Like it's second nature to them, right? Like before he got
Mm,
in the school that he's in now, which is really kind of tech and computer based, they took
mhm,
apart and rebuilt a computer the other week.
mhm,
So I mean, him and his friends before they got into there years ago, they
mhm,
were they were just doing coding just for fun and stuff like that, right? It's like, dude, you're going to be the man then. Because I mean, at some point, it might be worth building my own computer, or at least getting Jaden to build one for me. Now that he knows the basics of some of that stuff.
mhm.
I
Yeah.
was bugging him already about it. A music production computer or something that he can kind of make for me. So
Mhm. Oh,
would be awesome.
just don't make sure that nothing goes on fire like that video you showed of the guy playing
Yeah, yeah,
music. Fire.
yeah, yeah. On the Instagram, I love that Instagram page. That's Powland TV or whatever it is. It's so
What is
much
it?
fun.
It looks so real. Is it actually
Yeah, no,
fire?
it looked like it looked real to me too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was real.
I was like,
Some of these guys in this noise scene, they do some
yeah.
crazy, crazy ass stuff, right? So
Mm,
I am the
yeah.
law. That's right. That was the Anthrax song. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah. So definitely
because what?
go if you can get hold of it's probably now very cheap. I mean, the Dread movie. Like, honestly have a look.
Yeah,
But it came out
I'm
in
sure I've seen it for dirt cheap. Yeah, I'll definitely have a look. I'd
it
like
came
to see
out
it.
it came out in cinema in 3D, which I went to watch. And 3D I
Okay.
never liked because like because I have to wear glasses all the time, so you have like double glasses, and I always felt
Yeah.
weird after that. But anyway,
Yeah.
the scene where they take the drug is so beautiful in 3D. It's probably the only
Yeah.
thing that beautiful about 3D was when it
Yeah.
was that popular. But anyway, so that movie came out and it's so beautiful. And now see watching in 2D is actually
Yeah.
kind of a spoiler because you kind of wanted to feel because and when you watch it, you will know what I'm talking about because
Okay.
the scene is really nice. I enjoyed it a lot. So.
Did you not go to see Doctor Strange in 3D?
No.
Oh
Oh wait, I
man.
did.
Oh,
Wait, no, I did.
okay.
Because of the
Okay.
what is that guy? That guy in that when he goes cycling.
Dormammu.
Yeah, Dormammu. That was so spot on, man. If you were
So it was
high,
so good.
people were
The
saying
3D was unbelievable.
they took mushrooms and
Oh
they
yeah.
watched the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
One guy said he was crawling in his bedroom and not going out because I think he
Yeah.
had probably I don't know what kind of effect after that. Because
Yeah.
I honestly have never taken mushrooms because I don't like to be in that level of psychedelic.
Yeah.
I like to
Yeah.
be a bit more in control when that basically.
Yeah.
But anyway, they say he had such an effect. He didn't come out of his room for a week because he
Oh
was still
Jesus.
thinking that he was in there jumping. You know what I mean? That
Yeah,
scene
yeah.
where it's just like jump everywhere, and that stuff
Yeah.
like exploding, and those that the scene with fingers and fingers and fingers that freaked the shit out of
So
me.
good. That was
Ooh!
so good. Like that first one where she sends him to the other. Yeah, that whole scene when that 3D hit, I was completely sold. Oh, mine's way up there. I can't yeah,
Talking
it's so
about that,
great. Yeah.
this
Hold on a sec.
you have that.
There it is up there.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
as close as I can get.
yeah. This is like a cheap version of cheap toy.
Hey man,
But
it's still great. It's still the doctor.
I know, but the thing is, what I like about it, it looks like him, but it doesn't look like him because
Yeah, yeah,
I don't really like the figures where we try to really be like precisely that person, the actor. I
yeah.
like that be a little bit different. So anyway, but yeah.
when I went and bought that figure, I was hoping to get another one that wasn't based on the actor, but the ones that I saw,
Mhm.
I just couldn't find one where I thought the figure looked good. I mean, if I'm going to go buy a figure, which I'm rarely going to do anyway,
Yeah.
minus the stuff that's back there, it's just I want it to look really good, and I actually don't mind. It reminds me kind of like McFarlane era toys. This Doctor
Yeah.
Strange that I have, and I love the little set, and then you can put kind of the pieces on his hands and stuff, right? So
One of the
can
things
you
I like.
take the piece off his hands there in that small one?
No,
Oh, okay.
I have one of
Ooh,
those.
hey,
That's
look at
the.
that. Hold on. You're going
I didn't
big.
even
Hold on a
take it out
sec.
from the box. Could you believe? But it's a Mr.
Oh,
Miracle,
man. Yeah,
and I really like this one.
it's awesome. That's great.
One thing I really wanted a Dead Man.
Oh, dude,
But
what are you showing me here, Rosso? What are you doing? I didn't know there was a dead man one.
yeah, I can't find
Oh,
it
shit.
because they got rid of this line. No more
Yeah.
line. No more this kind of toys from DC because
Okay.
they took the McFarlane. I think he's taking over the lines and stuff. I think
Oh,
as far as
really?
yeah, because he has already produced the Batman stuff. So
Oh, really? Hey.
yeah,
Oh my God. The fucking. Hold
yeah,
on.
Deadman. Yeah, look at
Oh,
it.
dude, that looks so good too.
Oh, and the face is good. Look at that
The
face.
face is unbelievable
Mm.
with the dark eyes and stuff too. Oh, for
Yeah.
fuck's sakes. Stupid goddamn toys. Gonna be the death of me. Hold on here. Solo layout.
Yes.
That's the
Darwin.
one there.
Yeah. But
And I
what?
mean, same thing. I'm not taking it out of the box as much as I want to. It's just too good. And again, when I saw they had a few of them, and I only bought this one, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
Darwin Cook, man, and all of his figures look great. Then this is like what is this
Look.
series 2 or something? Because I think they've had a bunch more, right? So hold on one sec. I got to get out of this. We're fucking nerding out right now. This is like me and Adam talking about trading cards right now, Rasa.
Darwin Cook.
Hold
I took
on. Oh,
her out.
dude.
I took her out. I just wanted to look at it so closely.
Like they did such a good job with his figures, right?
Yeah, look at that eyes, man.
I mean, it's great.
So dreamy. Look at that
It's
playing with
so
toys.
it's such a sketchy area too, right? Like it's so dangerous. It's such a dangerous area to get into
Mhm.
these figures and stuff, which
Yeah.
is why I never really have like very very briefly dipped into it and bought some stuff. But I mean, it's just yeah, scares the
Mhm.
shit out of me, Damien, too. Not only space wise, just
Mhm.
money wise. Because I mean, there's some incredible looking stuff. Like when I go to Galaxy, which is the place I go
Mhm.
that I have my pull list, they've got an upstairs with back issues and there's a wall of toys, and I always take a walk around the toy section just
Mhm.
because I like to look at the stuff and then
Mhm.
sit and contemplate it for about 5 minutes before I walk the hell out of there without anything, right?
Mhm.
Because there's some beautiful work, there's amazing stuff, the level, and I think it's McFarlane that has to be fully applauded for that stuff. Like when he started doing his Spawn toys for his company, for Image for
Yeah.
his company, when he started doing that stuff, he got these guys sculpting these figures. They were just head and shoulders above anybody else, right? And he just figured that shit out really, really early. And I think it just brought the level of these builds up for everybody, and everybody just kind of had to meet his level, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So good.
Mm.
Show me that Catwoman one more time. That's unbelievable.
It's
Is that
really
the only
beautiful.
other one you have?
Yeah, I only have the Catwoman stuff
Okay, yeah.
because I found it for decent price. Let's say we say.
That's so great.
Yeah.
I love
I
that.
re- I I wanted to take it out just to actually have feel like Mr. Miracle. I was so tempted all the time to take it out
Yeah.
because he looks really good as well.
Yeah,
That's the
it
thing.
really does look good. Yeah.
And yeah, it looks like Mr. Miracle kind of from the comic books. So in a
Damn
sense,
dead man. Jesus.
but the Dead Man, I can't find it now. And if
Yeah,
I
yeah.
probably because basically when I saw it, so I thought, oh, cool, Mr. Miracle. And then you look at the back and it's like, fuck Dead Man. It was like I was looking everywhere in that shop and I
Yeah,
found
yeah.
nothing. And then
Yeah.
I still, but this is beautiful. I mean, it feels very nice. One of the, as I say, nice toys. And
Yeah.
and you should see my son's eyes when he sees this.
Do you start making
It's like
sucking faces? Is that what he does?
it's like a puppy
Yeah,
for
yeah,
both. Give
yeah.
it to me.
Yeah,
But not yet, not yet. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
and the only one I actually kind of like more expensive, let's say, figure is this I have because I really like the
Oh yeah,
costume. I really like the costume. So this is like proper kind of like minifigure. And her head is
that's
gonna
pretty cool.
fall down because it's just what's gonna happen. But anyway, it's a magnetic. When
Oh, really? Hey,
oh, but just watch the head is gonna go.
isn't that clever?
The head is going. It's just the way they made it. But it's supposed to. It's supposed to go like because it's a Spider-Man. It's a magnetic thing, so you can actually, if it doesn't fall
Oh
down,
yeah. Well, isn't that smart?
yeah. So it's beautiful.
That is a cool idea. So is it, sorry, the figure itself is magnetized onto that base or just the,
No, it's you can move it. Oh, it's strong magnet.
oh man,
It's on the legs. You see those little magnets
what a
there?
good idea.
Yeah. But it's I really like. I don't know. Look. I'm not into big time in those new characters kind of thing, but
Yep.
I will enjoy this look of the statue and the way it looks. There's a Spider-Man like that and all that stuff, but I got it. It's like, oh yeah, at least one for me, like to have. So yeah, I'm very pleased with that one. And they're quite pricey. I mean, they, as I
Yeah.
say, you get in that kind of realm, it becomes very scary.
Oh, they're pricey, all right.
Like
Okay, I gotta show you this one just before we,
yes. Oh.
and that one glows in the dark too. So
Oh no, really?
yeah, no, for real, it does. Yeah, and it's incredible. It's amazing, and it's the only one that I've taken out of the packaging, right? Just because I want it. Again, same thing. Like, just
Yeah.
wanted to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so fucking nerdy. This is like, this is now beyond me and Adam talking about trading cards. I hope you know that we've now skyrocketed way past that. Because even with Adam and me talking about trading cards, we didn't then start pulling out binders and showing stuff.
Yeah, because the one thing I always wanted is the Doctor Strange like proper statue.
Yeah.
Proper statue.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I always toy around though. I've never probably will get it because of the situation with my son. But I've seen so many of them, and they look like like you were showing those art on Twitter. You were sharing all those Roy Thomas stuff, and the way that he looks so great. And there's some statues they look so good, not Cumberbatch. That's the thing, and it's I would love to have one of those kind of things. Just just one thing, like just to have one would be great for me.
I had the one statue I bought back in, I don't know, 2000, 2001. I don't even know when it was. Like almost 20 years ago, I bought a Kelly Jones Batman sculpture, and then I had it for a few years, and then I sold it again. Like it was just part of like getting rid of stuff, and it was really, really nice because of that that Kelly Jones kind of sculpt, right? Like especially the way his Batman was with the crazy big ears and stuff.
Hello.
Hi.
Well, your lips blue. What have you been eating? You've been eating candy?
No, I use my lipstick.
Oh, you have blue lipstick.
And purple and pink.
OMG.
I thought that shouldn't be that cold in Canada yet.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, look how she's dressed. She was outside. You know, it's.
Yeah.
We had minus temperatures the other day already, like -1, -2.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, you're cold.
Yeah.
BRB.
I don't remember what we were talking about. Sorry. Oh yeah, just the Kelly Jones, the statue. Yeah. Just because his Batman was so iconic, and that's still a line that I look at because I see they still do it, and kind of like this Batman black and white statues, and there's some amazing stuff. Yeah. But again, it's like it is such a rabbit hole to go down. Same with those pop figures, seeing the Doctor Strange, like the glow in the dark, or sorry, the blacklight version that I first posted on Twitter. That was the one of like, oh my God, am I actually going to buy a goddamn pop figure? And thankfully we don't have a Target, and thankfully the one place in town that sells, or one of the places that sells those, they don't carry that one, and I'm like, thank God, that's great.
No, the pop figures is nah. I got
Yeah,
one.
no, I agree.
I got once for free, basically, almost. My comic book guy had the deal and gave me the. I was like, "What is this?" And he's like, "Yeah, just have it." You know, like it's part of like yeah. And then it's the Hulk pop figure.
Okay, yeah.
And stuff. The head is gone. The body is still there, which my son is actually playing with. I was like, "Where's the head?" I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's like no,
long gone.
And especially the price tags on those pop figures are mad. I mean, crazy. £20 for like that figure. £20 in here in England. I mean,
well, and that's the thing. And then some of them, like you can open the door the whole way. Some of them, they again, it's that idea of like they skyrocket. You're going to be working outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Love you.
Love you.
They skyrocket depending on the stuff, right? Like all of those collector bullshit, you know, some limited edition bullshit, and it's like now it's $200 fucking. It's like, give me a break, man, you know. But whatever. I do admit they are tempting sometimes. It's just I'm not going down that road. There's no way. Except for the Dead Man figure.
Yeah, this is definitely addictive as well as like I was like always looking, and there was one shop in here they had discount on them, so they like slashed the prices to like minimum. So when I bought this figure, I spent £5 for it.
Oh shit! Yeah.
So I was like, of course I'm gonna get it. But that's the problem. If I find that's what I was looking for other ones. Oh look, a werewolf by lunchtime.
Hello, werewolf.
Hello, Australia.
Yeah.
What time is it? Like 5 o'clock again in there?
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, the Spectre one you showed me now, and the Deadman. So there's two of them. Like definitely, I would want to get.
Well, I mean, Spectre needs Deadman. I mean, they go hand in hand. There's room for him right beside Spectre right here. So I mean, I'm gonna have to look. Probably.
I'm gonna be on the lookout. So if I find it, I'm definitely gonna get it for you as well. So
yeah,
I'm gonna look if maybe.
So how old is that Icon series like that, Mr. Miracle? Was that a number of years old or?
Let me see. Does it say in the name the time? Doesn't say production.
Yeah.
Date, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Can't see it. Sorry.
That's fine. Yeah, I'll look online. I'll do a search later.
Yeah. Yeah, but I know definitely for sure that those Icon things or this line in particularly of those kind of statues in this packaging is all gone. They said
okay, yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna look now on eBay. I'm gonna. This is gonna go really badly. Spectre. Nope.
Damien's saying the same thing. He's saying, "Oh no, the Spectre is gonna hook me."
Yep.
And then Gore is giving him some sound advice. Fight it, Damien. I agree. Fight it, Damien. I mean, it's the
somebody's
the bane of the collector bug, right?
Somebody's asking for this figure, £22.
22, yeah. And
I bought this one as well. It's like wasn't that close.
Discount, yeah.
No, there's nothing on Spectre figure.
Well, and the other thing is the Darwin Cook. They also had the New Frontier series as well too, which was, and I saw them once the whole set, and it was pretty tempting. Yeah, I mean, here you go. I don't know if you can see that. So $30 Canadian for this thing. I didn't realize I kept the price tag on there. And that's the thing, right? So you're thinking of one of them for $30, and it's like, oh well, there's a set of 4. $120 later.
Look at that.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna make you big screen. You found one.
Yeah.
1 sec. There we go. Oh, dude.
I'm tempted now. No. That's reasonable price.
$10.95. Yeah, I mean, $20 and free postage. It says there too, Rasa. You got to. You don't have an option. I don't think.
Shut up.
I expect to see that in your hand in the next chat. Not that I'm trying to tempt you in any way, shape, or form. Free postage is always the thing for me with like auctions and that sort of stuff online. Free postage is the bee's knees.
I think your Spectre is the bee's knees now because I can't find it anywhere.
Spectre needs Deadman, who needs Phantom Stranger, who needs Zatanna, who needs John Constantine, who needs the Demon, who needs Detective Chimp, and then you need an intervention. But what you're missing in there, Gore, is they also need Swamp Thing as well.
Yeah. Swamp Thing figures hasn't been great, to be honest.
No, the few I've seen, I haven't really liked him either, thank God.
There was, it's just like something with tentacles they tried to do, then they tried not to do anything with that.
There was that one that had that hand figure thing that came with it too, whatever those guys are called. I'm blanking right now, but...
Give me a second. One of the things I'm really proud of having, even though...
And Damien says you can call them an investment. Yeah, try telling that to my wife.
This one.
Machine Man or Phantom?
Yeah. Machine Man.
Nice.
It's an Eagle Moss figure, which is really
wow.
Cool. But I really like it so much.
See, that's reasonable though. It's tiny.
Yeah. Exactly.
Probably cost what, like $2.99? It's probably like cheap and just really nice.
They are now, because they're not making them anymore like this.
Oh, okay.
They're heavy. Those are the heavy ones, the Eagle Moss.
Oh, I see.
The old editions, and they are very pricey. Not very pricey, but pricey for what you basically get.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Rasa, you're killing me here, because I've got a couple of Berserk figures in a bin that I haven't looked at in a dog's age that I'll probably end up pulling out of the bin after this video.
Eagle Moss, Doctor Strange, which is a good-looking Doctor Strange. Yeah.
So the same line.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's old edition.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, look at that cape. That cape is pretty great too.
Oh yeah, it looks nice.
Man, Doctor Strange is killer.
Yeah, exactly. They're beautiful. Just
such a good character.
Yeah, beautiful to look at. And also have.
Okay, Rasa, I gotta call it here. It's 5:30. I gotta eat.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Going to solo layout.
And Black Panther.
I told you we just rewatched that recently, hey? Mm-hmm. Me and my wife, after he died, we watched the movie again, and it's still just as fucking good as it was the first time.
Yep. Beautiful.
That's a nice one.
Yep.
I have 4 statue buying preventers, aka cats.
Yep.
And Gore, what's this one? I have a great Swamp Thing figure that came with a mask. Interesting.
Oh, what is that?
Yeah, the couple that I've seen in real life just haven't really done it for me, but I haven't done a dig online. I haven't, because I know that I'll all of a sudden have a bunch of toys, and this channel will no longer be about comics. It'll be about trading cards and toys. I saw the other thing I sent to you guys, you and Adam, that video about he's talking about the Pee-wee's Playhouse trading card set that those look phenomenal. They're super expensive. When I went and looked on eBay and stuff, they're unbelievably pricey, but such a cool looking set. Yeah. Again, that little bit of a connection to underground comics and stuff, right? So really, really neat though.
Yeah, that's the thing with things like that. It's just like a big rabbit hole. You just dig yourself in there and never gonna dig yourself out.
Well, especially what he was saying in those videos too, talking about that Pee-wee's Playhouse boxes. He had to buy like, I don't know, 4 or 5 boxes just to get a complete set. So it wasn't, a lot of the times with the trading card stuff, you can buy one complete box. You buy one box, you're going to get the complete base set plus a couple of the extras. Yeah. It was very unusual with this that no, he had to buy like a number of boxes just to get one set, which is kind of it's kind of bunk, to be honest. But
yeah, well, that's how you make money, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's totally how you make money. Absolutely. A bunch of kids fleecing them from their allowance, right? It's quite a racket.
But on this as well.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's totally true. Yeah, please, Gore, send me a picture. Absolutely.
Yes. Oh, well, you send it to me then.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
let's just share, okay? Because Gore doesn't have Twitter, so I won't be.
No, that's right. I'll send it to you through a message on Twitter.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Okay, people, we're gonna call it here.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for hanging out, everybody. We're gonna try to do this on a weekly basis. I hope. Now that the project is done, and now that especially once the weather gets colder, there's even less for us to do. We have some more restrictions here as well because our numbers have been spiking COVID-wise lately. So we're under more restrictions with maybe more coming in a couple of weeks. So they've said that they're not going to lock us down, but who knows? We'll see what happens.
And
thanks for hanging out, everybody. I won't even list everybody, but you know who you are. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you all next week.
Yes.
Now I got to do the push the button.